Yeah. I'm started up. I'm not sure if the data's reached my stream yet, but it should definitely be starting like in the next few seconds for sure.
Breakfast has been consumed.
All right, breakfast. Only 12 hours late. I'm proud.
Whoa.
Sir, I woke up about a half an hour ago. Leave me alone.
Hey, I just got an alert. Lore Spire's online now.
Oh my god.
All right.
Oh, also, before we get too far into this, I want to pull up the multi-twitch and share that.
Multi-twitch.
Where are you at? There you are. Also, I have an old multi-twitch.
Hello, travelers. I'm Chris. Welcome to Lorespire. We'll be getting this discussion started here momentarily. Thanks, everybody, for showing up and hanging out. What's up, Chromatic Jester? Been a while. Glad to have you here, for sure. Maybe we can chat a little more later.
There you go.
All right, so there's that.
All right.
Now in my chat.
Much pat. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Far and wide. We're here today with more class discussions. Today we're going to be looking at Bard and Skald, aka the Barbarian.
Yeah.
And if we have time, we'll move on to the actual Barbarian, but we're not going to rush ourselves to make it happen because we want good discussion.
Yeah, we kind of had to cut our talking down a bit at the end of last week.
Yeah, we'll try to avoid
Podcast.
that if we can.
Yeah. We did have 4 last week, though.
Right, yeah. Like,
That's
I
true.
feel like we probably can do 3, but, you know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What up, Lore? What up, Igor? What up,
Yo, guys, how's it going?
We'll do quick intros, and then obviously the longer details at the end. Everyone across all 3 streams, it is I, UnsungNPC. Very happy to be back this Thursday. We're doing 2 in a row to make up for the fact that we missed 2 in a row.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And whose fault is that?
It's mine. It's my work's fault. It's how it is. My freaking job.
Imagine
Yeah.
working.
So glad to be here. Excited for this. Excited for more Baldur's Gate eventually, and excited for the start of our Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign tomorrow night. So.
Oh, is that starting up tomorrow?
That is 9:30
tomorrow.
EST. 9:30 p.m. EST.
Nice.
It's gonna be good.
Nice.
Cheers.
Lorespire, you go next.
All right. I get to be number 2. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So Chris with Lorespire here. As Unsung said, we've got our Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign starting tomorrow night. That's definitely the most important thing going on. So anybody who is available, be sure that you got your notification bells turned on, and that you are there tomorrow night to have some fun with us. Seems like it's going to be an awesome time. So hope to see you all there. We did stream Dark Envoy lately. Pretty awesome game. It was just the demo, but I'm going to try to get a video after this is done made for that. And anyways, yeah. Besides that, we're kind of just waiting for the Last Sarkorians DLC to come on out. All right, you're up, Pondoor.
All right, hey, I'm Pondoor. I'm not going to be part of the Pathfinder game tomorrow because they do that while I'm at work. Instead,
hell yeah, I'm playing Igor. We've been planning this for forever now, and strongly looking forward to it.
I do, Pokemon speed runs. I'm currently going through Wrath of the Righteous. I almost said Mythic Isles, the Midnight Isles DLC. I'm on lap 7 of my 3rd run through. I'm just about to get started on that. And I'm probably going to actually finish that up on Sunday. I don't normally stream on Sundays, but I kind of overslept yesterday. Missed my stream entirely. Woke up at around 8:30, somewhere along there. Felt like going live for a half hour. Probably not the best idea. So I'm just gonna do a long stream on Sunday to make up for it. Since I don't have to work, I don't have a strict out time. So yeah, I think we're just gonna go until we finally finish my first full trip through the Midnight Isles.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
All right. So
The bard.
Yeah.
bards.
Bards. Oh, how I hate
Bards.
thee. Let me count the ways.
No, I should probably a 3 difficulty.
Lies. Give it a
3-star
5.
difficulty. Many class skills. I'm pretty sure it's actually all of them.
Yeah. I
If
would
it's-
say that bards are super difficult to kind of like master. It's just looking at it is
What?
overwhelming.
They have a very low skill floor to be able to bring them into being useful. Like, even
True.
if you don't at all utilize the vast majority of what they do, if you just hit that fucking inspire courage at the beginning of each fight, your bard is basically doing like 80% of their job.
Yep, that's true.
So yeah. They are a 6 spellcaster, 6 level spellcaster. Light armor, simple weapon, proficiency in shields. I always forget that they can use shields.
Yeah. Has anybody ever done that? I'm sure somebody has, but
Well, like you would need to have only a one-handed weapon in them,
Yeah.
and crossbows and bows are both two-handed, which is what most I feel bards are going to have equipped most of the time.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to go for a melee bard, which is odd, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
They get a lot of
Maybe it
passives
doesn't feel
towards
right, but it's
boosting.
doable.
They get a lot of passives towards boosting like knowledge and lore skills, using those skills untrained, jack of all trades for even more skill bonuses, inspire competence to increase skill checks. Granted, those are competence bonuses, which I think come around fairly frequently for items. So
Yeah, if you have an item with a with a stat boost, it's almost always going to be competence.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
But depending on what version of the game you're playing, like in the DLCs, you're not at all guaranteed to have an item with every stat bonus.
True. I would definitely can benefit from it for like perception checks in a long dungeon where you might not be able to see traps. Because there's not like a ton of perception based items, and those ones usually go to characters with specific combat sets because a lot of them grant other abilities as well.
Yeah.
But that's what I would do is mainly use it and get that bonus to everything, but get the bonus to perception most of all, and go through a dungeon and do traps or whatever. With lingering performance, you don't even have to use like a lot of rounds to find everything.
Yeah.
So,
or just do what I do and just blunder straight into traps half the time anyway.
that's what our pets are for, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. I would like to say I hate bardic performance until you get it as a move or swift action.
I don't mind it either way because what else is the bard gonna do?
I know, but
Oh, Chromatic Jester is saying that he usually has his bard melee and it works out pretty well. So it seems like he's
Really?
into the combat for his bard. But yeah, and he's of the mind that the bard is the best, which is not my mind. But
I mean, I like bards. I like do not get it twisted. I do enjoy me a good bard. Currently using one in my DLC run.
To be fair,
Very poorly, I will add, but I am
What's-
using one.
with some of these sound-based evocation spells, being in melee makes sense because a lot of them are cones.
That's true. That's true.
You get like blur, mirror image, and displacement.
I mean, you get a 3-4 base attack bonus as a bard, so I don't really see like being in melee like that much of a detriment, especially because most of your buffing and stuff's going to be done outside of combat.
Yeah.
I guess it just, depends on your songs, which personally I don't find their songs nearly as useful as you guys seem to.
All I know is I used Fascinate and Kingmaker all the time on a bard, and there was literally not anyone that we fought that was like impervious
I
to it.
used it once, and it saved my life on my first playthrough. I used it against Hargolka.
Nice. Yeah,
he had ripped through my fucking front line. I
Yeah.
only had my casters left, and I had Lindsay use Fascinate on him.
you can fascinate
And
all
it
the trolls.
saved
Trolls
my
fucking
life.
stupid. Trolls are dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Yeah.
fascinate all of them and the kobolds all at once.
Yeah. And like if you have better morale bonuses, like say you have, greater heroism on everybody or something.
Yeah.
Dirge of Doom can cause everybody to become shaken,
Which is a huge bonus.
will activate
Shaken's
stuff like
great.
Shattered Defenses and other stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
Dirge of Doom. I think is by far the best thing that they have going on because of Shattered Defenses. Like for me, like that's if I'm using a bard, like that's what I'm
Soothing
using with them.
Performance is a giant AoE that gets rid of fatigued, sickened, and shaken.
Do all bards get that? I thought that was just
Yeah. No, right here, 12th level.
Okay.
That's pretty big. It
I
uses
think-
4 rounds,
yeah,
but if you
it's-
keep boosting
4
your
rounds,
rounds,
though.
fine.
But like I think
whoa.
on my bard in the
So does
DLC run that I'm
this-
using, I think I have like 36 rounds per day of
So does
performance.
Does this use up 4 rounds of your performance?
Yes.
I've not used it.
Yes.
The way that I read it is that it requires 4 rounds of continuous performance. So
No.
I thought that's what it says. And
It
like
does. Yes,
that,
it does.
that led me to believe that you had to perform for 4 rounds and then the effect happened.
Oh no,
Which I
no.
was
It's
kinda
an
like,
effect. It just
that's
uses 4 rounds.
extremely
of
Yeah,
lame.
your
it's not
performance.
it's not a toggleable. It's just an activated ability.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's
that-
instant. It just if you
Definitely-
have 36
definitely
rounds,
makes it
it'll drop
better
it to
than I
32.
thought it was then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I use this. Hi, kitten. I use this outside of combat regardless. So either way, it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
As
Yeah.
well as, like that's where
And
I think.
oh,
you'd use it,
Igor
but
makes a
that
good
at least
point.
Makes it usable in combat.
Hi, kitten.
Igor makes a good point. Light armor hurts a little, so give the bard
Yeah.
a reach weapon.
Yeah, that's
Fair enough.
what I was actually going to
Hi, bud.
suggest. That's what I do with my Skalds and a Skald and Bard at
It
least.
makes sense.
Yeah, reach weapons.
I mean,
good idea.
Yeah, I will say like getting Inspire Heroics at level 15 kind of sucks because everyone
Yeah.
is going to have like dodge bonuses to AC. Like it's not hard to get those at that late.
But on the other hand, dodge is
It
one of the
does stack,
ACs
though.
that
Yeah.
will
Does it?
stack.
Yeah, dodge stacks.
Yeah, most dodge bonuses will stack. So
Most will stack.
yeah.
Okay.
I thought all did, but if it was a dodge bonus,
I think all of them, but I'm not 100%. So
Okay.
I will
That's
commit
not
to
bad.
at
saying
least
most.
of them. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, the bonus to saving throws is whatever because you can just use. I mean, +4 is fine, but to use that in your bard performance instead of just casting Good Hope.
Good Hope will only be a +2 though.
Yeah, but
So
+2
this
versus
is double what that is.
True, but it's also like you have to use that performance.
Yeah, I agree, Kristen. Totally.
And
It's a
you
matter of,
can
like-
get that saving throw bonus from greater heroism if you have, which the bard does get.
Yeah, they get like all the buffy like enchantment spells.
Yep.
Heroism greater.
Where do they get that at? Level 5 or something? They get
It
it
should
level
be
early.
level
Yeah,
6.
they do. No, it's level 5.
Level
Is it
5.
level 5?
That's where I look
that's
too.
right.
'Cause
They
that's
also
where
get
wizards
heroism
get
at level 2.
But, yeah.
Yeah, they get it a level early from most casters.
Level 6, they get brilliant inspiration.
There we go.
Cool. So
Yeah, I mean a bard's
then,
good, but it's
You
just
have
like
the best song at level 20.
Well, I gotta say, and a lot of people probably already know this, but I strongly disliked Lindsay from the very start of Kingmaker, and then that turned into a hatred kind of in Act 3 whenever I got my kingdom and she robbed me and I was playing an evil character and thought I should have been able to kill her and I wasn't able to, and so I kind of
Because story, she can't die until she dies.
yeah, well, you know,
Spoilers for a game that came out, what, 6 years ago now?
I still should have been able to kill her. It kind of pissed me off. So I never used Lindsay, so I didn't really get to use a bard in Kingmaker. And then I have used them some in Wrath of the Righteous. Haven't been very impressed. But y'all do make a good case. Just most of the stuff that's
they get
here,
a lot
I
of
just get
very
from
good
other places.
They get a lot of very good CC enchantment spells. I have been building my bard as a CC enchanter. I have vastly underused that, but I'm trying to keep that in mind as I go through into the harder islands now. Things like Mind Fog, the domination spells.
Yeah.
I
There's-
used
I think
I used
they don't get
when I did
overwhelming
my
performance,
bard
right?
playthrough when I did a bard trickster.
Yeah, they get overwhelming presence at level 6, which I
Yeah.
believe is usually a level 8 or 9 spell, and they get it as a level 6 spell. Like, it's kind of insane that they get that.
I used Serenity and Song of Discord a lot when I played my bard.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of very good stuff. Waves of Ecstasy is hilarious.
It is
I
hilarious.
love that spell exists.
In Pathfinder First Edition, there's a spell that makes someone so narcissistic that they spend their entire turns looking for a reflective surface to stare at themselves.
I remember that spell.
That's pretty interesting.
I remember that spell.
It's a good one.
All right, so archaeologist.
Ooh, one thing.
What's
I
that?
just actually read Brilliant Inspiration again.
Uh-huh.
So what it does, because I think you mentioned it, Unsung.
I did.
It basically gives you advantage on attacks, ability checks, and skill checks.
Yeah. Yep.
I have a robe that increases my cast level by 3. If I do that and get Brilliant Inspiration, get up to level 20 and take spell specialization, Brilliant Inspiration, extend spell, and greater enduring spells, I can get 24-hour Brilliant Inspiration on all of my characters.
And it works until you get a natural 20.
Yeah.
So if you don't ever get one, it'll work forever.
Oh,
It's a good one to have.
I did not realize that it naturally ended if you get a nat 20.
Nat 20.
I did not read all the way to the bottom of the spell.
Yeah, so definitely not gonna get 24 hours out of it, but
Yeah, never mind then. That's that kind of kills that play. I was like, ooh, this is incredibly good.
Yeah,
No,
would have been pretty sweet.
But yeah, basically Bard, as is quite obvious, it's a buffer for the most part, a support character, not really somebody that you're going to expect to do like the primary, they're not going to be your primary damage dealer, most likely not going to be your tank. They're the person that you use to get all of the skill checks, and because I think they start with force.
The difference there, Igor, is in the character that I was role playing. It's not me; it's the character.
Naturally 4.
I would even use when I made my bard, I used my bard talents on like Canny Observer, Fast Stealth, Familiar. Like I boosted my skills.
You want to explain them turning on at will crit Chromatic Jester?
My go-to, because I was like, I could get myself weird attack things, but I know that I'm like not going to hit as much as other characters in the game anyway. So might as well dive into like what I'm going to be the best at.
Yeah.
So Chromatic Jester claims that we're underselling the Bard's control in both Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous, that they can turn on at-will criticals. I don't know about that. Do y'all know about that?
What?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Neither do I. I asked I asked him to explain, so maybe we'll get an
Um,
explanation here. Or Igor's pretty knowledgeable. Maybe Igor will explain it for us if. But we can move on
Yeah,
until we
I
get an explanation, I suppose. He says you can
at will criticals.
He says you can paralyze and incapacitate enemies. So talking about using a coup de grace, maybe.
Oh, coup de grace.
Yeah. Paralyze and incapacitate them.
Paralyze.
How do you?
I mean, like if you're using stuff like overwhelming presence, which I did mention, and I was talking about that I was building a CC caster. I just haven't been utilizing them as much. But yeah, there is a lot of very good crowd control spells.
Yeah.
I've never
Mind Fog, Cacophonous.
If you're a trickster,
all
see this.
Phantasmal Web.
If you're a trickster, you can just make everyone paralyzed anyway, just by walking to them.
I never really thought of them as real strong, like crowd control characters, DC casters, because they only get 6 level spells, so they're at like a natural disadvantage versus full casters as far as DCs go.
Right, but they get spells early.
Yeah.
Like
they
both heroisms are gotten a level early. Like I said, Overwhelming Presence is usually a level 8 or 9 spell, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but at level 6, it'll still have the same spell DC as, like, you get it at level 16, so a wizard's, whatever enchantment spell they have right there at 16, they're going to have, a level 8 spell, so it's still going to have 2 more DC. Maybe the effect of it is not as good, but it still has, like, a better chance to hit. I don't know. So anyways, just explain, that's why I've never really thought that they would be super great at it.
Yeah, but wizards can't sing.
Yeah. Thank God.
And like you also have to figure if you're using a wizard or a sorcerer and a bard, you can use that sorcerer or wizard. Like bards are not going to be a very good blaster caster or anything else, right? Like they have the shout spells and stuff like that, but that's incredibly limited. Whereas you could use a wizard for that kind of stuff and not have to use them for your CCs. So it might be 2 DC less. But you're adding a lot of extra utility onto somebody who would otherwise be primarily a buffer. And then their actual in-combat utility is very low, usually.
Well, that's definitely what I've used them for when I have used them. It's pretty much just stack all the buffs on them, use all the spell slots to buff, and I don't really have any spell slots left for combat usually anyways, or not many. That's how I've usually done it, but I guess if it works, then you could have somebody else do the buffing. Okay, so archaeologist?
Sure.
All right.
Archaeologists
are a much more selfish bard.
Seems like a much just worse
This is
bard.
like a pseudo rogue bard, because you're better at finding and dealing with traps.
But
not
really
finding,
a big
but like
deal, but
you're better
you
defensive
get
against
sense.
traps. And you get luck, which is a bonus that like almost nothing else gives you, and you get luck on everything.
I will say
attack rolls, saving throws, skill checks, damage rolls.
Yeah. And you get Clever Explorer, you get Confident Explorer for trickery, you can take 10 on trickery, you get Uncanny Dodge for free. So it's a little more roguey. There's evasion as well. It's just like no sneak attack, but
I will say I do like that it gets the luck bonuses. I was trying to make some kind of like a lucky fool type build, and archaeologist was what I was trying to use for that, just because, it does seem to get the most or the best luck bonuses of any class I could find. Anyways, that's the only thing it gets though. I mean, almost uncanny dodge and evasion are pretty good, but it doesn't even get like improved evasion or uncanny dodge.
Advanced talents.
Oh, as an
Yeah.
advanced talent. Okay,
Yeah,
so
improved evasion.
okay, so it can get that, but the point is, like, it's giving up everything, and then it doesn't even get sneak attack. So I don't know. I guess my point is, why not just be a rogue?
Giving up everything.
Well,
Like, it's giving up all of the other
everything that's
songs.
bardy, everything that's bardish, I guess, except for the spell buffs.
Bardish.
Yeah,
know?
like it's
I mean-
it's focusing, but like if you're using archaeologist luck,
Yeah.
which is the reason that you would take this archetype, like you would take this because you want to be a self-buffing character.
Yes.
So if you're taking this, you're not going to be using it for inspire courage or competence or any of these other things.
Mhm.
You still get lore master, you still get bardic knowledge.
But to what end are you going to be buffing yourself?
You're gonna buff yourself real good, and then take as an advanced talent weapon snatcher and use trickery to disarm everybody, and be a fencing master. That's what I would do.
All right,
Just
sounds-
disarm, 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 disarm. No one can kill you if they don't have weapons. Okay.
What about all the enemies that don't use weapons, or does it have natural weapons, or does it cast
We've
spells?
got 5 other party members.
Okay, all right.
Well, like
seems like kind of a wasted party spot, but all right. You know what else can't kill you? Something that's dead. So just choose a class that will make them dead. I don't know. To
I
me,
will
this
say-
is just terrible. Like, you're losing
I will say-
everything that you would want a bard for, and you're not getting anything that's very good for it. I mean, okay, evasion and improved evasion, but you can just get those with the regular bard anyways if it's under talents. right?
does
'Cause
Bard
they
get
get
advanced
these-
talents though? Bard does not get access to
It may
advanced
not.
talents.
I'm not sure.
No, it's not on its class list. Like advanced talents is one of the things that's added to the archaeologist.
Okay. All right.
So everything under that, so blinding strike,
all right. So
confounding blades.
So if you want the bard, I guess, spells on a worse rogue, then archaeologist is your go-to.
I have
get
heard that archaeologists can actually stack up a lot of damage. I don't know how.
Definitely don't see how they could stack up more than a rogue, an actual rogue.
I'm curious. That's just danger sense. I'm trying to figure out how. Because
I mean,
remember
the other big difference between this and a rogue is that even with Eldritch Scoundrel, these spells are like specifically bard spells, and Eldritch Scoundrel isn't going to get all of these same spells.
Yeah, Skald is clearly far superior to Bard, Matt. They may not agree, but it definitely is.
The like buffing and debuffing that a bard typically does, then this is better. Or if you want to be charisma based, then this is better because Eldritch Scoundrel is intelligence based. It depends on how you want to play.
I am starting to not like this the more that I look at it.
Yeah, I think it's just terrible.
Because the primary thing is a lot of the advanced talents require sneak attack damage. Crippling strike, ability that a character with this ability can sneak attack opponents with such precision that so an opponent damaged by one of her sneak attacks also takes 2 points of strength damage. Confounding blades. When a character with this talent hits a creature with a melee weapon attack that deals sneak attack damage. Dispelling attack. Sneak attack damage required. Double debilitation. I don't actually know if that's sneak attack. But like a lot of the more that I look at this, a lot of these require you to do sneak attack damage, which would then require you to take a level in another class, at least one, in Rogue or Vivisectionist or something else that gives sneak attack. So yeah, the more that I'm looking at this, the less I like it, simply because it doesn't. I wonder if Bard Archaeologist.
I mean, I think the main part.
I wonder if in the tabletop it gets sneak attack damage.
I think the main point of this, though, is that in terms of spells and skills, you are still a bard and will outclass a rogue typically in those areas. So yes, you're not as good at dealing damage, but the game isn't only about dealing damage. So like they're going to be better at rogues and skills. They're going to be better than rogues at spells.
That's
Especially with the luck bonus. The luck bonus goes on all of the skills as well.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
all right. Okay. There's
that
a
is
spot
that
for
is
it,
one
but
thing. I'm just saying it's not nearly as good as I thought it was.
yeah, it's not very good. Maybe there could be a spot for it, but
It is much more specifically a skill monkey than even the bard is.
Yeah.
Because it gives up a lot of its. Because it
yeah.
in
so
all
just
honesty,
play
it gives up the
just play the
majority of its
bard.
combat utility. Because like we were saying before, if you just hit Inspire Courage, you're doing 80% of a bard's job in most parties in combat. And this one does not get that. It also doesn't get Fascinate, it doesn't get Dirge of Doom, it doesn't get any of the other songs.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I played an archaeologist in Kingmaker, and what I did is I did all of the trap stuff, never missed a trap, never failed a trap. I did
Mhm.
all of the skills, and then during combat, I hid.
Yeah.
But it made it fun to roleplay because in real life, if we got into a fight and I was with my friends, I would hide.
I feel like
So it's
in
just
the tabletop it
entertaining.
would be a lot more interesting, where role playing is a lot more effective.
Yeah,
I guess,
roleplay
or fun.
Yeah, the role playing aspects, unfortunately, in these games.
Danger sense is
I mean,
trash, so that may as well not even
unless
be there.
you're playing,
So is
unless
Confident
you're playing
Explorer.
harder, a higher difficulty, the role playing is you can sacrifice anything for the role playing because the game just isn't that difficult.
Well, yeah, you
While true,
absolutely
you also
can.
don't really
I'm just saying
get
you don't
any.
have you just can't have as much fun strictly role playing something with a game like this as you can with like the tabletop. Like that's the point that I'm getting at. Like yeah, that role playing means less in this game than it does in the tabletop. Is what I'm getting at.
I mean, I get that. I think I just like the ease of like being able to put whoever in my party I want to for combat purposes and just know that every single skill I have taken care of.
Well, you could still do that if you got 6 people to take care of skills. Like, you don't really need a skill
Yeah,
monkey
you
when
don't
you have 6
necessarily
people.
need just one person to do all this.
Well, I do it because I interchange party members based on what quests we're doing because people talk and have dialogue during different quests.
Okay, but can't you still just do that with your normal bard?
You can, but his trickery and perception won't be as good, and he won't get the luck bonus on all of the skills.
Okay, but you've played the regular bard in your party and done that with them, and it was sufficient, right? I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
like these things are not necessary to make better. Like, like it's kind of nice, like, okay, yay, but it doesn't really have that much of a practical effect. That's my.
I get that, but I feel like I guess that like goes along with like a lot of different archetypes, right? So like when we talked about cleric, herald caller, any like spellcaster can be a summoner just as effective or more effective than a herald caller that's specifically built for it. So the only difference is you get 2 feats for free, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that means not every spellcaster can, because you've got they would have 2 less feats. So I'm just saying, like, not every spellcaster is going to be as good of a summoner because they have 2 less feats to invest in being a spellcaster.
I hear what you're saying. I agree that the archaeologist is not one of the top archetypes of the bard,
Okay.
but I think I still find it useful.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It's not one of the best. There's like at least 3 or 4 others that I would rather play. Like if I was gonna make an effective bard, but I do like it better than regular bard. But that's just my preference.
Just say it has better flavor than the regular bard. I might give you that, yeah. But okay, I think we all understand where we're at with that.
I feel like I feel like if you're wanting a trickery and perception person, just take a Seeker Oracle.
Yeah, but what if you want all of these? What if you want these kinds of spells specifically?
Yeah, this specific.
And then
Oracles
a Seeker
have different
Oracle and a
spells.
Bard.
I mean, I was saying just take a regular bard or one of the other archetypes of bard, and I think that aside, maybe from
I
Flame
think I've done a
Dancer,
complete 180 on
think
this
any of the other ones
archetype.
are-
Like I was super into it when we first looked at it, and
But
then I
it's
realized just how much.
pretty bad, right?
Because you're giving up a lot.
You're giving up
Like let's be
almost
on.
everything
Let's
that makes
be
you a
let's be
bard
straight here.
besides your spells, and you're getting almost nothing in return.
You're giving up almost everything. You get evasion and improved evasion. You don't even get improved uncanny dodge.
The point of an archetype, in its essence, is to bring pieces of different things that you like, or different things that could be done better in other classes, and bring them all together. So yes, a bard is just as effective at all around skillness. An oracle is probably better at finding traps. An eldritch scoundrel rogue still has spells and would do way more damage, but there's different pieces that someone might want all of and to have, and this is the only archetype that combines all of those things in one thing. That's the point of an archetype. So it's not as effective. I'll grant that to you, but it's a personal preference for some people to be able to have these types of spells, to be able to have the ability to be better at finding traps and dealing with them, and the ability to have luck bonuses, which I will add, I've played this game 4 times. I have found 2 items that give a luck bonus in this entire game.
Yeah,
so luck bonuses don't even really exist all over the place. There's not a ton of stuff that does it. And this is going to get you like a +4 luck bonus.
It does not scale.
No, I totally agree with everything
I was
you're
just
saying.
looking up prayer real quick because I couldn't
everything that
remember if prayer scaled, because prayer does give a luck bonus.
Yeah. My point was just that the abilities that they brought together in this archetype, I don't feel like are very practically effective because most of them aren't very necessary to do well in the game. That was my point. But you're absolutely right with what you're saying. And anybody who does want this
do we know why
particular
Bard exists
collection,
when there is Skald?
then here you go. You got Archaeologist. I don't know.
We are here to find that out, Neuron.
Yeah.
Why? Because Skald has one archetype that does anything with skills, and none of the other Skald performances really do anything with skills.
We will get into that as we go through this. That's kind of the whole point of this podcast is comparing them.
Court Poet Skald is literally a bard.
Stay tuned.
But worse.
Stay tuned because there's going to be a lot of arguing when we get to Skald. You know, so if that's your thing.
I know very little about Skalds. I'll be learning a lot today about that because I did not do my homework this week.
I freaking love the Skald.
Yeah, I do not personally like the Archaeologist. I feel like you give up way too much for what you get.
Yeah. Totally agree.
I feel mechanically speaking, it is far weaker than the Bard.
Agree.
And even if you're playing the main game, and even if you're only using the party members that are given to you in the main campaign, you have so many party members that are so good at basically every aspect of skills and this of the game, and that have access to basically all of the spells.
Well, I will say
that you're going to have as a bard. You would have to do a lot to justify this particular archetype mechanically. Speaking strictly about mechanics and the way that I play the game, I do not put emphasis on roleplay when I play these games. So, speaking strictly mechanically, I do not think that this archetype brings enough to the table to justify giving up basically everything else.
I would say, like, in terms of combat or like buffing potential or debuffing potential, I would agree. I do think that, like the main and only area this is stronger than a regular bard is its skills, because the archaeologist luck is better than inspire competence. So this will have better skills than a regular bard would. That's it.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean,
I will give it that.
But I agree, like in
you
combat,
also-
yeah, this isn't going to be as effective, and for buffing or debuffing, it's not either, because you miss out on the buffing and debuffing performances. I would agree with you.
There is one other aspect to this. For the vast majority,
yeah, it's kind of dragging a bit there, Chromatic Jester. Sorry about that. Hopefully we get past this scene.
That you have to pass in this game.
Yeah, but if you're
And
playing
how
for the
easy-
first time,
and how easy is that to hit? So
If you're-
like, if you're guaranteed to hit that skill, without this archaeologist luck, then using this particular performance for that skill check is useless, right? I'm not saying that this is a reason to not take this. I'm just saying that is an aspect that you need to keep in mind.
no, I agree with you, but it doesn't
with-
apply to anyone playing for the first time.
That's true. That's true.
'Cause you'll have no idea. I mean, I had skills in the 60s. I never needed skills to be in the 60s, but I fucking did it.
I mean,
I
that
had,
is
like,
kind of fun.
Oh,
I had, like,
that was
60
kind of the point,
Yeah, I could-
you know,
I could
like
beat this
you don't
DC
need
by
it,
3
so
times over.
it doesn't
I had
really matter.
in every knowledge and lore skill, and I literally don't think I did a skill check higher than like 40 something for those.
It kind of nullifies its effectiveness.
But it was really funny
kind
that
of
I
the
was like
point.
the most knowledgeable person on the
Oh
fucking
yeah, no. Like at that point, like it's absolutely useless to have them that high, but
Yeah.
it is fun.
I will
like-
say I had my
It's-
persuasion like in the 60s, and that was useful because that's what I used to
Oh, yeah.
paralyze everyone as a trickster.
Well, that's why I was saying a lot of them do. Like
Yeah.
the intimidation checks,
Woo!
those get really high.
There's no one I
Oh.
couldn't intimidate.
Yeah, the intimidation DCs can get incredibly high on some of the later game enemies. So like
Yeah.
persuasion and stuff like that, yes, I would say if you're going for an intimidation build, get that sumbitch up as high as you possibly fucking
That's like
can.
an active skill, right? Like it's the passive ones, like the knowledge and perception and stealth, where you're just like, at a certain point, these will plateau, right?
Yeah. And like that was actually one of my favorite things about the Kingmaker speedrun was trying to get my stealth to hit the exact point where the highest perception enemies would not be able to find me when I'm invisible. And using specific items, taking, things like stealthy and skill focused stealth and stuff like that, I was able to just get that. And that was one of the last pieces of that particular puzzle to make that speed run a lot more consistent, because you have to run through that hallway with 3 wild hunt enemies and just hope that they don't see you. And they have like a
No, I must have missed the part where we're wrong. Chromatic Jester? Definitely don't get that. You'll have to explain it to me in Discord or something afterwards.
and yeah, we were just able to do that in the route that I have. So some of that stuff can be really interesting if you're trying to like fully
Yeah.
min-max a run.
I will say, before we move on to Beast Tamer, Archaeologist Luck does start as a swift action, which is nice.
That is
Already a swift action.
Hooray.
because I mentioned how much I don't like the standard action, but
Yes. All right, Beast Tamer. I love that
Beast
when we're
Tamer.
like on one for a long time. Igor's just like, so this next archetype.
move on, you long-winded fucks.
Yeah, we had people over here doing the same thing.
No, we will
Listen,
not.
listen, guys. We've got like 2 to 3 hours of time. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, don't
Yep.
worry.
We've spent 1 hour and we've gone through 2 now. So we can surely do the other 12,
It has not been an
13 in the
hour.
next.
It's been 45 minutes.
Oh, okay, 45 minutes. Well, I guess we did start a few minutes after 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was yeah, okay.
And that's also
Gamer.
including the intros and just, shooting the shit for a minute too. So this is the summoning one.
Yep. Probably
Uh
my favorite one.
Listen, I will say the bonuses you get to the summons are great, but Nature's Ally is the worst. I'd rather have Summon Monster.
Yeah,
Wait.
Nature's Ally does suck.
I hate Nature's Ally.
Why is spontaneous summoning here?
Because you get spontaneous summoning.
You're already a spontaneous caster.
Yeah, but you can
Is
turn
it just
any
so that
of
you
your
don't have to
spells.
take it as one of
There
your
are
spells?
spontaneous casters that have spontaneous summoning things sometimes.
Yeah, you can just turn any of your
I
spells.
guess this just means that you don't have to take a spell.
Yeah. I mean,
Like you don't have to learn it.
I get what you're saying. I guess they could have just given us the Nature Ally spell at every spell level, but
Yeah, I
They
thought
did it
that's
this
what
way
this
instead.
this row up top was.
It
was
is.
them giving us this spell.
I guess that's true.
So why both?
good point. I don't know.
why both?
That's yeah. You know what? That's really fucking weird.
it does the same thing.
The doubt just sets in across the screens. What?
Oh, I get
get-
it because you can cast any Nature's Ally spell of the same level or lower. So it is a little bit different. You know, you can
I guess.
so you
can
sacrifice
cast a
a
worse
spell
spell?
slot. Yeah, you can sacrifice a spell slot to cast a lower level spell. I don't know why, but I'm just saying you can. There at least is a tiny difference. There's a tiny difference.
He's trying to salvage this.
It makes sense. You can cast a worse spell. It's fine.
I will say we do. Yeah, we get augmented summoning for free, which is cool. Love
You
it.
get that at level 2.
Yeah, that's
We
nice.
get all of the Inspire Ferocity.
You lose out on all your bard talents, not
But it's not about your friends anymore, Pondoor. It's about your beasts.
Right.
You actually
lose
only
Inspire
miss out
Courage
on
to get ferocity, which
You miss out on 2 talents. Inspire Competence, which isn't that great anyway. Inspire
it just
Courage.
2? Oh, it is just 2.
Yeah, and you still get Fascinate, Soothing Performance, Inspire Greatness, Inspire Heroics. You only miss out on a little bit.
Oh. Okay. There is an explanation. So the spells up top, those are spell-like abilities that you can use 3 plus your charisma.
I just
They're
read
not
that too.
actual spells.
Yes.
So you get them, and then also you get to add them. You basically get to add them to your spell list as well.
That makes sense.
So
There
there
you go.
is actually a reason for both of these to exist.
Yeah, because
just
whenever
have
you use
to-
the ability, you can actually only have one of those, but then you can use the spells too to summon however many you want with your spell slots. So yeah.
Wow. So at level 10, your Inspire Ferocity counts as Magic Fang, a level 1 spell.
Yeah.
And all your natural attacks count as if they were Silver and Cold Iron, which I believe happens at if you have a +3 or better. I want to say is Cold Iron and Silver.
Yeah, I think we looked at it before and it was
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
+3.
1, 3, 4, and 5. 1
Yeah.
was just magic, 3 was Cold Iron and Silver, 4 was Adamantine, and then 5 was Alignment, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Level 14 is Adamantine for Bard and Fire Ferocity, and then level 18 is
At
Greater
level
Magic.
18, you can use it as a level 3 spell. Congratulations.
Oh, you're not using the spell though. I mean, you're never going to get Magic Fang on all of your summons, so you can summon 50 whatever, and you can use
I guess
Inspire
that's true.
Ferocity, and they'll all have all these abilities on them. I mean, personally, I think the base bard is probably in general better, but I don't have used this to be effective in the Midnight Isles, which made me like it. Like it was pretty effective.
Guys, we have a quick question. Does the Inspire Ferocity, it works on pet allies, but does it work on wild shape or transforming into animal allies?
I would
Probably
so,
not.
but I would have to test it. There you go. We both give two different
Let me read
answers.
the actual thing.
I feel like when it says pet allies, it's talking about animal companions.
Yeah, it probably is. I'll say this: it should affect all animals that are allied. Is what it should do. Like
I
in
But-
the flavor of it.
Wild-shaped party members are not considered animals.
That's true. They're
because
not.
you can't use animal growth on wild-shaped party members.
That's true.
Wow.
Wow.
Also, I'm upset because I tested this at the end of my stream on Tuesday. So animal aspect, which is a polymorph ability, a polymorph
Yeah, summon spells are full round action, Sam.
mythic. I can't remember the name of it, but the one that gives you a +4 increase to all of your physical stats whenever you're polymorphed. Those do not work together, despite the fact that animal aspect is a polymorph spell. That was something else that I learned about polymorphing very recently.
I would say that if you want to do summoning, this is great considering how very little you trade off for it.
Also worth noting, the spell-like ability summons are minutes per level.
Yes,
Not
those are
rounds per
always
level.
great. It's like isn't
Yeah.
that like Monster Tactician? They get theirs as like spell like abilities.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
not many archetypes that get this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
which
think
is
it's just the
really
two.
really nice.
Nirok actually also points out a good thing. The key word in Inspire Ferocity is pet allies.
Yeah.
It
Right.
is summoned and pet allies, not animal allies.
That's what my point was. Is like pet
Yeah.
allies makes it seem like animal companions.
Yeah,
Those are pets.
we
Your friends
all
are
know
not
that
pets,
the
more.
we,
Your
we,
friends are not pets.
we all know that the wording in these things is not always accurate, though. I mean, we already
That
had
is
an
true.
example. We
That
already
is
had an
true.
example with that with the base bard.
Yep.
Good archetype. It's
Yeah,
very
you lose Inspire Competence. I feel like if you're going to be doing a summoner, this is probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I think I do agree as well.
It's like
Because you get all the way up to Summon Nature's Ally 9.
yeah. This is the thing is like I put it at kind of like mid-level in terms of like the bard archetypes because I don't think like I can compare it to other bard archetypes because it's a summoning archetype. But out of the summoning ones, I think this is one of the best ones, if not the best. Like I think maybe Monster Tactician's better because of the teamwork feat stuff, but other than that, this is like top tier summoning. You know, I mean, it's definitely not fucking alchemist summoning archetype, that garbage piece of shit. But this is
it's
yeah.
good.
You don't get... Now, here's another thing to note. You do not get both summoning feats. You get one of them, but
Yeah.
you do not get superior summoning.
But you get so many other bonuses to your summons that spending one feat on superior summoning. is
Oh,
not-
yeah. I'm
no
not
big
saying
deal.
that should be something to take away from it. I'm just saying that this is something to keep in mind. You would still want to get this feat at some point.
Yes, for sure. Don't
For
miss
sure.
out.
For sure.
I think Herald Caller is the only one that gets both, and they literally get nothing else for summons. So
Yeah. This is true.
I mean, it is a cleric, though.
yeah, it's a
Clerics don't get a whole lot of extra shit regardless.
No, but they can AoE buff all of their summons, I guess.
yeah, with the
Igor
domains.
does point out that Monster Tactician does get summoned monster, not nature's ally.
Yeah, which is
I
better.
know, and it's so
That
much
is also better.
Yep, it's better.
Who wants to
On the
I
other
don't-
hand, I think
Just
better
Summon
all
Nature's
around.
Ally does get you wolves, though, right?
Yes, if you want the trip party, I hear what you're saying. But like, look at Summon Nature's Ally 9. Do you need Mastodons? No.
Mastodons also get trip.
Yeah, but they're not hard to kill.
Mine is.
What, Mastodons?
Manny is a beast.
Yeah. In
But-
Kingmaker, you can kill Mastodons so easy.
Pets are difficult to kill, but like whenever you're fighting them or their summons or something, yeah, they die super easy.
But I mean, that's the same with any summon, though. Any summon is going to be shit.
I don't know.
Yes,
I
Mastodons,
thought
They
summons
are
were pretty
designed to be
decent in
disposable
Kingmaker.
creatures.
but in
I
rap,
get
they
that
are
all
literal
these
shit.
animals do trip, guys, but you realize that unless you like do stuff to make everyone's trips better,
Yeah, it's gonna miss.
it's not like it's gonna be that effective. Like a summoned wolf trying to trip high level demons isn't gonna do anything.
Which one is the anime dead archetype? That would be the Lich
The-
Mythic Path.
the
Dirge Bard.
which I think is my favorite as far as flavor
I was
goes.
gonna say, do we want to just go there then?
Yeah, it's next.
Alright.
It's freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
I love the Dirge Bard.
What's not to like?
I don't know. I know
so-
nothing about it yet.
If you want to be a necromancer, but instead of reading books like a wizard, you want to play music, it's the Dirge Bard.
Yeah. The only thing you lose is well versed, which kind of sucks, but isn't really that big of a well. that
You
and
also lose Jack
that
of
and
all
Jack
trades.
of all trades, but that is like
Sir.
literally nothing.
It's a +1 to all skills. Get
And
outta here
honestly,
which
like
is
with your
terrible.
reductiveness.
I would rather have a +4 against fear, curses, and death instead of fucking Sonic, like performance and Sonic effects.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen
Ooh.
demons sing. There's a couple
Yeah,
out
they're-
there that do, but that's it.
In the second act,
Bonus
all
on
those
intimidate
Dyrachni
checks.
are pretty
Equal to half his level.
can be difficult, but
But you get cause fear, waves of fatigue, which is a great spell. Banshee
It is.
blast. Command undead is stupid. There's not enough undead in this game, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, bonus to intimidation checks, like you said, and DC on spells with fear effects. See, this wouldn't be great for Pondoor because he hates when frightened creatures run away from him.
I do not like it.
no, it doesn't actually fear anything though, right? I'm pretty sure.
No,
there's
but you
nothing
get
here that
bonus to
actually
fear
feels-
spells.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still, you're losing almost nothing, and even if you don't use any fear spells, just like you
Yeah.
said, just getting the +4 bonus to saves on fear, curses, and death effects is better than
I
well versed.
think-
You said so; it's worth it for that alone. And then you also get Dance of the Dead, which is freaking awesome. Just prancing
Yeah.
around, playing your little flute
I'm
while skeletons
gonna run away
frickin'
real
dig
quick.
up through the
My
ground.
cat is meowing a whole lot, and I need to figure out what the hell is going on with it. I'll be back in just a second.
There's not
Best
really...
part of Dirge Bard is making undead count as people for your spells.
What are you doing back there?
Is that a thing?
Is that one of the effects here? It sounds right. Sounds like it should have that if it doesn't.
Yes, it uses mind-affecting spells to affect undead as if they were living creatures, and they are counted as humanoids, which means you can mass enlarge person them.
Oh, you said mind affecting spells though, or is it all spells?
It says they also count as humanoids,
Hmm.
which is all you need for a enlarge person spell. They just have to be humanoid.
Okay. Probably not going to be practical to do that. I guess you do have the AoE, like you have mass and large person you could use.
Igor has given me a
Alright, she
great
was just being an
idea.
adult whore.
All right, what
What's
is it so I can steal it?
What? No, it was mass enlarge person. What level is that spell though? Do Bard? I don't think Bards
Level,
even get
level
that spell.
5? Yeah, I don't think they get
What
it
are we
either.
looking at?
Mass and large person.
They not get that?
Do bards get that?
I don't think so.
Doesn't look like
Yeah,
it.
I can't
What are
find
you gonna
it.
say?
Yeah,
Sorry, Igor, your plan is foiled. I guess you, because it has to be the bard's spells that you use it. Like someone else can't use.
you might be able to use it from a scroll. I'm not sure how that would work. It probably wouldn't work still because, yeah, unless you created the scroll. I
Yeah, you would
guess.
use a scroll. But we were talking about skellies that you summoned as a dirge bard count as humanoid creatures, so you could potentially mass enlarge them.
Oh, interesting.
I will say, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if. I think in my video I said that if you don't care about the decrease on skill bonuses, which is like 1 to all skill checks, congratulations, not that great. This is like Bard Plus. This is
Yeah.
like if you're gonna play a Bard, just choose this instead because it's Bard but better.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Where
There's
does it
no
say
point
that
in
they're
not
treated like
doing it.
humanoids?
Yeah, I was looking for that too. I couldn't find it, but I seem to
It's
remember
under
it being
the-
that way.
It's under where it lists the different fear spells you get. It says a dirge
Oh.
bard may use mind affecting spells to affect undead as if they were living creatures. Undead creatures are treated as humanoids for the purposes of determining which spells affect them.
Oh, Well, enlarged person isn't a mind affecting effect, so anybody could use enlarged person.
I don't think that's what it
I'm
says.
pretty sure the bard has to use the spell. Is the way I read that.
Yeah.
It says
the
undead creatures
bard,
are treated as humanoids for the purpose of determining
It's
which
part of the
spells
same
affect them.
sentence
That doesn't
says
say,
a Dirge bard may use spells.
but they're like it's two separate.
It could go
clauses.
either way. It could go either way. That's something
Yeah.
you'd have to test. Even if they meant it one way or the other, they could have just worded it the other way or a different
I agree.
way.
They don't lose bardic knowledge, but they do lose jack of all trades. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
It's a plus one. All skills not that great anyway.
Yeah.
And
pretty tough.
Haunted Eyes is just flat out better than Well Versed. So it's Bard Plus. New Bard Plus, guys.
Yep. So Dirge Bard, awesome.
Awesome. Good
All
one.
right. All right, now we've got a little bit of competition for Archaeologist as the worst archetype.
And
Flame
this
Dancer.
Dirge Bard gets great religion checks, which is awesome because like no companion is really good at religion skill. That's like
I mean, that would be any bard though, right?
No, this one gets a specific bonus to them. On top of everything else. So like it says bonus equal to half the bard level on.
Isn't that what you normally get from Bardic Knowledge though?
Bardic Knowledge is
Bardic
half
Knowledge
as
is on all knowledge and lore checks.
Yes.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So you do get this as a bard, and you get, the other lore and the other two knowledges.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Flame Dancer.
Flamey boy. Again, like you're getting rid of the fear songs and the skill song for Fire Dance and Fan the Flame and extra fire spells. So this is like, if you don't want to be a fire damage bard, don't go anywhere near this because this is all that it's going to do is be a fire damage bard.
And if you do want to be a fire damage
only
bard,
3 spells as well.
Just take Dirge Bard and get the Salamander Ring. Because you're only getting 3 spells.
Campaign.
Only one of them's pretty good. Fireball, Burning Arc, Burning Hands, not really that great, and your Fire Dance here is crap. And look at everything you're giving up for it.
The fire resistance isn't huge. It's not enough to really negate any damage you might do against your party with fire spells anyway.
Also,
it's not just that, but it's the same amount of fire resistance you get from the protection from energy spell, which if you don't have somebody with that in your party, you better find somebody with it.
There's
so many sources for that spell.
Yeah,
like almost every spellcaster can cast those spells.
Yep.
Is there one that doesn't?
I don't think does the bard actually get it? I don't think the bard actually gets it.
I think it does. Pretty sure it does, right?
I'm looking right now. It doesn't look like it.
No.
But I know like hunters do,
I
rangers do.
Igor says Flame Dancer sucks. Next one.
Yeah.
Flame Dancer's real bad.
Like, I mean, at least Archaeologist had something like specific that it could do better, even if that thing it could do better sucks and doesn't matter that much. This just crap.
Yeah, Flame Dancer's real bad.
This is like trying to be 2 things at once: a fire damage caster and a bard, and it's not doing either of them well.
One very well.
It's a very half-assed. Well, like, because Fan the Flames, I would say if it went the same way that the Beast Hammer went, where it's like we're giving you access to all the way up to level 9 spells of the fire type, which there's not even a level 9 fire spell. Like, we will give you access to the primary fire spell of each spell level as high as it can go as spell-like abilities.
Yeah, but
that you can use X number of times per day. That I would be like, okay, that would be a bit more interesting because then you would get controlled fireball, fire snake,
but it's only giving you the 3 worst fire spells though.
Yeah,
and you don't even get literally until level 8. You don't even get until level 8.
Yeah,
maybe
And
you
it's
can
not
get it
even
on,
giving
like-
you. It's not even giving you like Scorching Ray.
here's the harsh
As your
here's
level
the
2.
harsh reality. Half of the archetypes, all the archetypes that are based on the tabletop, are more created for the tabletop because of the diversified roleplay value. It's not translating well to the game. Like Flame Dancer, fantastic in a tabletop probably. You're a bard who sings and has fun and can also shoot fireballs. Other bards can't do that. But in a video game,
Yeah,
it's
sucks.
very very difficult to make that effective.
Yeah, the benefits for roleplay are so minimal for this archetype that the mechanical failure just overwhelms it entirely.
Yeah, it's terrible. Which every single class has at least one or two archetypes that
Yep.
are probably garbage
This
and
is-
the game could have done without. But hey, they wanted to be able to say they had like 125 classes or whatever, so they're here.
Trash. Throw it in the garbage.
Thundercaller.
Thundercaller.
Yeah.
You lose Bardic Knowledge, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't like Thundercaller a whole lot, but if you want to, like, I don't know, if you want to do some electric damage, then yeah, I guess so.
Sonic damage.
Or excuse me, sonic damage. No, it's
The
electric
Thunder Call
damage
is
too.
sonic damage.
You get Storm Call.
You get Storm Call though, which is electric damage. So what I should have said
okay.
is
So you
electric
have
damage
both.
in addition to
Yeah.
Which Storm Call is actually pretty cool. I do like that it increases the damage if there's a storm going on, or if
That's
there's like
cool.
an air elemental that has unleashed like a vortex or whatever. Like that's pretty sweet. I do like that, but I feel like that that's not going to happen enough for it to matter.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's super RNG dependent. I would
Yeah.
not.
I guess if you don't need them to have bardic knowledge, like if you have all that stuff covered and you're not going to be using like shattered defenses with anybody, so the loss of Dirge of Doom isn't too big of a deal, then I could get behind playing this as long as those two things. Because besides that, like the only other thing you lose is Frightening Tune, which I would probably not use anyways.
You lose Dirge of Doom.
And yeah, that's the one I was just talking about. Like, if you're not using Shatter Defenses, the loss of Dirge of Doom is extremely minor. And then the Inspire Competence, I don't really give much of any value to that anyways. So, I mean, I could see you using it. I still don't like it as much as, like, the Dirge.
Like, the primary thing that you
get,
get, like, is also Thunder Call, because that's 98 once you get up to 19th level, which is not a bad chunk of damage.
Well, yeah, that's pretty flavorful too. Like the feel of it, like the role play for it. It's not a lot of times that you get an ability that has like a good role play feel in an archetype that's also decently effective.
Yeah. The route for the Kingmaker speedrun before I came into it used Valerie as a Thundercaller bard, and she was the only party member that you actually kept all the way through the game.
Yeah, Chromatic Jester. I think that's pretty much what Unsung was getting at, saying that it doesn't translate well from the tabletop. And there's definitely classes or archetypes for every class that are like that.
Don't think. The fort save is to avoid being stunned, so there's also a stun potential for this as well.
Thunder Call's good. I mean,
stagger. Is it stunned?
No, it is stunned for one round.
Stunned? Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good. Or could be good.
If you revive the Queen as a Lich, she comes back as a Thundercaller.
Yeah, which is annoying, but whatever.
What? Doesn't she have to be charismatic to be a bard? I thought there's nothing charismatic about a raging bitch, is there?
Yeah, she's like a level 50 paladin in the game, and then somehow she comes back as this charismatic undead Thundercaller bard. Yeah, it makes no sense at all. It's terrible.
It's fine.
You know what? She doesn't have charisma.
It's not fine.
That's just the game saying just leave her dead. She deserves it.
I don't think she's that charismatic. I mean, I definitely try to bang her every playthrough, but I'm not going to say she's charismatic.
Never once.
Yeah, she's definitely not. She's extremely hateable which is kind of a slap in the face to liches everywhere, because whenever you revive her, she's actually like super thankful to you, and she's like, yes, thank you so much. Whereas like everybody else is
I
like,
see
no, I don't
that-
want to be an undead, let me die. And she's just like, yes, you're so awesome, which is like,
yeah,
fuck you,
she's like,
Cat.
she like full heel turns at that point. She's like, yeah, I can't even think of. Iobade sucks. Served her for so long, and she lets this happen. Fuck her.
You sound like you're half drunk.
Yeah,
I mean, that's basically her.
Yeah.
it's
Alright.
amazing, like the super devout people in these video games, just like something bad happens to them and they
Instantly.
instant 180, like, ah, I thought my devoutness was foolproof.
No,
Nope.
they got jokered. One bad day is all it takes.
Thundercaller is cool. I think it's very like you're either gonna build around Thundercall or you're wasting your time.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
I
Make
can
the
agree with
Sonic
that.
damage good or don't even.
There. Did we talk about Incite Rage yet?
Insight Rage is
We
dumb
did
because
not.
Skald does it better.
Yeah, I
Because
use
what
it.
does it better?
it
Skald?
could be helpful, I guess.
Does
but-
it? Because this is
No.
on enemies.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
not
on
on
enemies,
allies.
yeah.
You can prevent your enemy spellcasters from casting spells.
Oh, there's not that many spellcasters in a group of enemies.
I wouldn't use it, but I could see where
I
somebody
mean,
might.
Just think about this. You're on the final boss fight. She's a spellcaster primarily. You cast this, she rolls a 1. No spells that whole fight. She's just done. All she
Yeah.
has is her melee attacks.
You just gotta do what I do and kill the spellcaster first.
Oh. Yeah, I mean that would be great, but you're just gonna save
It's
Skilla
all
until
fun
she
and
rolls
games.
a 1 or what?
Come until she rolls the 1,
Listen,
damn it.
Pondoor, it's all fun
Took
and
the
games
words right
until
out
you
of my
give.
mouth.
It's all fun and games until you give a Balor +2 to strength and constitution. Okay.
I'm talking about fighting Miss Arilu herself, sir.
Yeah.
Also, a
She-
+2 to
she's-
strength and con on a Balor. The con is going to do more than the strength. Like, let's be honest. A +2 to strength or a Balor is a drop in the ocean. It does not matter.
Every point matters.
It is a +1
want-
to attack and damage. I don't think that's going to matter a whole lot. If it's going to kill you, that +1 to damage is not going to make a difference.
No. If you want to use it, go for it, but I definitely wouldn't.
Yeah, I kind of like the Thundercaller.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. If you want
It's
to,
got some interesting and cool stuffs to it.
yeah, if you want to do some thunder
here's-
calling, definitely recommend it. So Tranquil Whisper, last one.
This is one of my favorites. I
Okay.
played this one with my Trickster as a just pure buffing bard. Okay, you get to do morale bonuses to AC that goes up to +4.
That's pretty rare, isn't it?
How
You
many?
get to grant morale bonus to saving throws against mind affecting effects equal to the AC bonus. And you grant everyone blind sense. And then also you yourself gain immunity to confusion and mind affecting effects and count as an outsider.
That is at level 20.
Yes.
So for
But
the
I
majority
feel
of the
like-
game, you're not going to have that.
I feel like I mostly got mind fucked at the end of the game, so it's fair. But I love this. The AC bonus was great for me playing through. I much preferred it to Inspire Competence.
Yeah, Inspire Competence
and-
sucks.
Yeah, and Inspire Courage is like it's also competence bonuses. Like you can give. There's lots of spells that do bonuses to attack and damage. I feel like across all the caster characters.
Are they competence bonuses, though?
Yeah, I don't think you get a whole lot of competence
How often
bonuses.
do you get competence bonuses?
Those are
to
usually
attack?
from items. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a
And-
more defensive player. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Because I'm trying to think, where do you get competence bonuses on attack and damage rolls?
But morale for AC and saving throws is one of my faves.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the
I like
same
those.
could definitely be said about morale for defensive abilities. That is basically unheard of, I believe. I think this might be one of like if not the only, like one of maybe 2 or 3 sources of morale bonuses to AC in the game.
Yeah, because even Good Hope doesn't do it for AC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I could see using this over the others. Like, I like it.
And
yeah,
the performance,
if you're feeling
effect
like
is also a really pretty color.
if your defense is lacking and you feel like that extra AC is going to help, then for sure. I'm still stuck on what other sources of competence for attack and damage is there.
Yeah, I don't think that there
'Cause-
are many, if any. Definitely nothing that's coming to mind.
Yeah, like I can't think of any. So I think these might both be unique. If not, like I said, there might be like 1 or 2 other sources for them. But yeah, the competence to attack and damage, as well as the morale to AC, are both incredibly rare. And yeah, you're other than that, you're not really giving up a whole lot. You're giving up well versed and the deadly performance, which, let's be honest, deadly performance is not.
Yeah.
Like when I first started playing tabletop, I looked at all these and I'm like, oh my god, look at all these level 20s where you just get an instant kill move.
Hey, later, Chromatic Jester. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. Look forward to talking to you later. Guarded Hearth. Didn't they change the bonuses for that recently, so it's not nearly as good?
Past level 18, buddy.
Yeah.
I think what this one comes down to is I feel like it's on par with a bard, and it's, do you want bonuses to attack and damage, or do you want bonuses to AC?
Yeah, this I feel is 100% personal preference.
Yeah.
I do not think that Tranquil Whisper or Bard is better than either of the others.
No.
Or like Tranquil Whisper and Bard compared directly, I feel like they are equal.
Yes.
Just down to personal preference.
Yep.
I'll say this. Generally speaking, having a higher attack is more powerful than having a higher AC, like the faster you kill thing. I don't know. I think I might put the regular, like, maybe slightly above. Just
but I
because
think
of
it
that.
comes down to, like,
it does depend also on difficulty. Right?
It also depends on, like, how many sources of different bonuses do you have for attack and damage in your party versus defense.
Yeah. That is also true. I just definitely not recalling very many
on higher
ones.
difficulties. I think
saying that.
Boosting your offensive abilities is far higher than boosting your AC, because you get to a point where
it doesn't matter how much
they're
you
going to
boost
be
your AC.
hitting you if they hit you, and displacement effects and blur effects are far more useful and necessary than higher AC. But like on lower difficulties,
on harder
that +4 to AC at 17th level, like, you might just make it so that most enemies can't touch you.
On higher difficulties, it's a lot of who strikes first.
Yeah.
And strikes hardest.
So that is also something to take into consideration. On higher difficulties, I would say Tranquil Whisper does start to lose out compared to Bard and the other archetypes.
I would probably agree.
Maybe not all of their archetypes, but at least Bard and Dirge Bard. Maybe Thundercaller.
Well, I'm specifically saying compared to on easier difficulties, Tranquil Whisper, like, gets better the easier the difficulty is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say.
And I agree with that.
So across all of these archetypes, I would obviously do Dirge Bard at the top.
Yeah.
Tranquil Whisper and Bard are, like, go back and forth depending on difficulty. And then for me personally, I would do Archaeologist, then Thundercaller, then Flame Dancers in the garbage, and Beast Tamers off to the side, because you can't really compare it.
All right. What about you,
That's
Pondoor?
how I would do it.
I would say Dirge Bard. I like Dirge Bard. Thundercaller is really cool. And then I would put Tranquil Whisper / Bard, Beast Tamer, Archaeologist, Flame Dancer.
Yeah.
I don't think Thundercaller adds enough good stuff. Like, the one thing, it has one good thing that it adds. And
I would say 2 good things and 1 interesting potential. Because you have the Thunder Call, which is guaranteed damage. There's no save for the damage, so you're just going to be doing that much. and you can potentially stun everybody that hears it, unless they make their fort save. Which, against demons, you're not going to be getting the fort save, but not everybody in this game is a demon.
Yeah.
It also has, the storm call, and then I just think incite range enemies is not good, but I think it can be fun.
Yeah, I agree. It could be.
For sure.
So I think it brings enough to definitely bring it over Dirge Bard, and like I said, the more we talked about Archaeologist, the less I liked it.
I think the electrical damage for me is hard because you're gonna need to take Ascendant Element to make it work, and you get 0 electric spells as a bard. Like, this is the only electric damage you're doing. I guess you could take that ring that gives you the electric spells, but
that, and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
it's only 1 round of your performance to do this as well. So you could do this a lot.
yeah,
Yeah, you can do it.
I guess so.
Like I said, I was able to use I think I'm like level I just got level 18 or level 8 spells, so I'm like level 15. And I have like 30 something rounds per day of bardic performance. That's a lot. Like,
There
you're
are
not going to run out of
bracers.
that many rounds.
There are bracers that turn all damage electric. Is that just spells? Or like all spells and effects?
I would imagine like all elemental damage or something. Maybe all spell damage.
Because that would be cool if you used Thunder Call and had electric damage that didn't have a save with it.
Oh yeah, there's no save for this either. Also, like the level 20 deadly performance doesn't mean shit. So you could take 1 level in sorcerer or something that gives you a bloodline.
Oh, that's true.
And then you just take the draconic bloodline for electricity damage, which gives all of your spells that do elemental damage electricity.
That actually
damage.
might be a dip that I find wholly acceptable.
So then all of your sonic damage will be electricity. And then, that also boosts up the usefulness of Ascendant Element.
Yeah. Being a sorcerer bard makes sense. Better than the people who go fucking monk paladin, as if you could ever be both of those in real life.
Hey. Speaking as somebody who's currently playing a monk paladin, shut your face.
There is no IRL roleplay scenario where you could ever be both a paladin of a knightly order and a monk. You can't be both things in real life.
What do you mean?
Why not?
What do you actually mean?
Why not?
You can't be you can't live in a monastery and also be part of a paladin order. That doesn't make any sense.
Not every monk lives in a monastery.
Yeah.
You could
in
just
the fantasy worlds, they pretty much do.
Well, couldn't you like live in the monastery and then the monastery burned down, so you join the knightly order or something?
Yeah, there are definitely ways to roleplay.
So you were like a
Can
monk.
you be a part of a knightly order without having any material possessions? Because monks don't have material possessions.
Well, what if you fight as a monk, but you worship a good deity and they start blessing you with paladin abilities? Because that's all a paladin is. Like, you don't necessarily have to wear the heavy armor and use the weaponry. You're just blessed by a deity. Yeah, walk them statements back, sir.
No, I don't know if I'd let a player do it, I'm gonna be honest with you.
You just don't like that they would be too strong.
I don't care. I think people making OP decisions is perfectly fine. I just want it to make logical sense.
I mean, that does make logical sense. If you're a monk,
does make sense,
that dedicates themselves to improving their body, but they worship a good deity and they're doing acts in the name of a good deity, would that deity not then bless them as if they would another paladin?
Oh,
potentially, but I feel like most of the deities. Oh, I mean, I guess there's like a couple that would work.
Yeah.
But
is Aurori a good deity?
No, it's lawful, but I think you can be lawful good.
Yeah.
That would be the one, I guess.
I mean, like, even if like, you're a lawful good monk, like Sarenrae, you're saying that Sarenrae wouldn't bless a monk with her.
Sarenrae is definitely a neutral good deity. I'm pretty sure.
Right, but you don't have like if you're a lawful good monk.
Oh yeah, yeah,
still...
yeah.
Oh, Guarded Hearth gives a competence bonus now, Matt. I did not realize it was competence. I thought it was something else. Thank you for making me aware of that.
Deity. I feel like you could role play. Like you would have to workshop it. Obviously, you would have to, come up with reasons. But I don't see any particular reason why a monk paladin is like immediately unfeasible.
I guess.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I would put them in the order of Dirge Bard first, then Tranquil Whisperer, then Thundercaller. Then I would go with Beast Tamer, and then Archaeologist and Flame Dancer. And I don't know, you can put the regular Bard wherever you want in there. I don't think it really matters too much, I guess.
Flame Dancer in the garbage. The one thing
it's
we
real
all
bad.
agree on.
It's real bad, guys.
I actually do have one more. I was not going to put Tranquil Whisperer that high, but Matt over here pointed out that since they nerfed Guarded Hearth, it's now a competence bonus, and I would pretty much always have Guarded Hearth most likely in a playthrough. So that's why I moved up Tranquil Whisperer to second place.
What was it before?
It was all. I think it was all a sacred bonus.
Ah. When did that happen?
Like before the Treasure of the Midnight Isles DLC came out, so like 6 months ago,
okay.
maybe.
I wasn't
like that. 7 months ago.
I wasn't really keeping up with updates for a while.
It's a sad nerf.
Yeah, Guarded Hearth is nowhere near as good as it used to be, but it's still really good. Definitely not as good as it used to be, though.
Well, we all agree that Dirge Bard is great, and we all agree that Flame Dancer sucks. And I think that's what's important.
Yeah, probably so.
Oh, okay, it does.
All right. Now that we're done with the Bard, let's move on to the class
Skald.
that everybody should be playing.
The Barbarian.
All right, let me read up.
I'm so sad that they don't actually have it called the Barbarian.
Nope, it's not a Barbarian. It's a Skald, which is basically a
Barbarian, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like a Viking bard. But anyways, Skald's pretty awesome. They do get bardic knowledge. They get a nice
martial weapons
bonus combat
and
feat.
medium armor.
They also get scribe scrolls to start off. Martial weapons and medium armor, all good stuff. They get well versed at level 2, same as a bard. They get Skald talents in a very similar manner to the Bard talents, although I think the Bard may have gotten 5. Does the Bard get 5, or did they only get 4?
I think they get 5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, so they do get one more talent there. We get Uncanny Dodge, which is nice. Song of Strength, which is kind of meh. A lot like Song of Competence or whatever the Bard one
is. And it's not even that. Like, it's strength-based skill checks.
It's just for athletics.
Athletics.
Which, if you have an animal companion, no one needs to have that.
I wasn't trying to say that it was the same as that. I was just saying it's kind of meh. Like, to me, it doesn't really matter the same way that the Inspire Competence one doesn't really matter to me.
You get improved Uncanny Dodge as well, which is nice.
Yep. Very, very nice.
Song of the Fallen is cool.
You still get Dirge of Doom, which to me is the most important song that the Bard has. So nice to still see that there. Raging Song can become a swift action, which is cool. And then Song of the Fallen, which I've not used very many times, but it's pretty sweet whenever it actually happens and you get to revive your allies with it.
I feel like
what?
I feel like having 3 DR is just like, why even have the DR on there at all?
Yeah.
Then?
Yeah, I was gonna say the damage resistance in this game is garbage anyways. And only getting 3 of it doesn't really matter. Lore Master also doesn't really matter. Those are really the only things that I feel like don't matter here. Well, those in the Song of Strength.
Master Skald.
Anyways, the best thing that they get by far is the rage powers, instead of singing and sharing whatever inspired courage or whatever, they get to actually share their rage powers. And there are some really overpowered rage powers.
That is cool.
That just kind of break, and I would say the Skald is almost necessary if you're going to play on like hard or unfair difficulty with a party. It's not necessary, but I would say it's as close to necessary as you can get, just because of how overpowered it is to be able to give your entire party the barbarian rage powers. It's freaking nuts.
Yeah, that's kind of
So Igor said the damage reduction is shared with your party, and you can boost it with the increased damage reduction rage power.
Okay, it's still garbage
So
though. It's
everyone-
three.
yeah.
It's 3 damage, which doesn't matter. Maybe if you're playing on like, I don't know, story mode or something, 3 damage might matter.
Yeah, and eventually, like with all, if you used every single rage power, you would only bring it up to DR 12. Which is still nothing.
Yeah.
To be fair, DR 12, if you're going up against like Meriliths, that's 6 attacks per round.
All right,
That's
so,
what, 72 damage that you save
So we're gonna
in one round?
so we're gonna dedicate our entire class to fighting Meriliths. Like, no.
Well, I'm just saying that's an example of a large chunk of damage that you would lose. And like, well, I mean, there's also the what are they called? The Lilitus. They get like 5 attacks per round, and they do a good chunk of damage with each of their attacks.
Okay, I do just want to point out again that we are talking about using all of our rage powers for this, though.
That is fair.
And you should be using none of your rage powers for this. So you're only really going to be preventing 15 of the Lilitus damage, which is incredibly negligible.
You can also just get Stone Skin.
Communal
there you go. There's a lot. You know, there's DR 10 right there. What are you doing, kitten? Here. There you go. You can jump.
All right. It looks like the spell list as well is the exact same as the bard.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as the bards. Okay. They get a 3-4 attack progression, the same as a bard.
I'm cool with that. I like the bard spell list a lot. So
yeah, I agree. For a medium progression caster, it's a good list.
Yeah. Cool. So Battle Scion is instead of rage powers.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says
you can actually do it instead, so it's mostly better as long as you don't mind losing barded knowledge, because you can still take rage powers, but you can also take teamwork feats.
Do you share the teamwork feats as well then?
Yeah, you do, but it takes three rounds of your raging song instead of 1. So you know, if you've got 30 rounds of it, then you really only get 10.
You do get bardic knowledge and courtly presence.
Yeah, so this, you know, half your level to persuasion to intimidate, and you get half your class to knowledge world checks.
I feel like in most instances, this is probably going to be as good or better than the regular Skald.
Yeah, this seems like it's just
it's just
better.
It's more flexible, right? Like it's versatile Skald plus instead of just being a Skald. Like, I mean, there's no reason to not take this because you don't have to do the teamwork feats if you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, the only thing that you lose is you lose half your class level to 3 skills, which you can pick those up from other characters anyway.
Yeah,
I agree. That's losing almost nothing. So you almost always want to go Battle Scion.
And like persuasion is pretty valuable instead anyway.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're already a charisma caster.
Yeah, you can really do some intimidation stuff with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to point out for everybody, though, that even though you're able to take the teamwork feats, it's almost always better to just still take the barbarian rage powers.
I would agree.
You know, so you have that option, but I would say unless you're trying to do something really, really specific that's probably not going to be as good, but you want to do it anyways, then you still shouldn't take the teamwork feats.
Igor's dropping the knowledge.
There's other sources of team-wide teamwork feats as well. Like Azada gives them, you know, you could grab a Cavalier and get them that way. There's definitely other sources where you could just give the whole party teamwork.
Igor said in the tabletop, the actual ability gives you any combat feat instead of the rage powers, but they nerfed it for the game.
That
would be interesting. Like, what if you gave everyone combat feats?
I think the rage powers would still be better. Like, maybe if they didn't have to meet the prerequisites for it, maybe, I don't know. I'd have to sit
I
down
mean,
and
I
go
would
through
assume
them.
that you would have to.
But the
ignore
rage powers are
prereqs.
already so freaking well. It doesn't know. I want to say
Well,
like with the teamwork feats here, don't they not ignore prereqs? Like they have to. I think right here, like they have to qualify for them to be able to get them. As long as those allies also meet the prerequisites. So if they're going to have that stipulation for the teamwork feats, I imagine they'd have it for the regular feats as well.
do many of the teamwork feats have prereqs?
Yeah, like
yes.
like
Seize
seize the moment
requires combat
reflexes.
Reflexes, yeah.
That might.
But if you wanted
I think that's the only
outflank,
one though.
The
I'm
only
pretty sure like anyone could take outflank.
No, outflank though does have a prereq. Its prereq is base attack
BAB
bonus. Yeah,
4, I think.
5. It's
5?
got to be BAB 5, so you can't actually get it until you're level 7 if you're a 3-4 progression.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
Is it
BAB
adding the feats? Because if you look at possible selections, some of the different totems are gone. Is that just a typo or a glitch?
I think that this just isn't working correctly. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
we've run into that before where it just doesn't show everything, or it just doesn't show anything.
Yeah, I think that that's what's happening here. Patrick Rydberg does want to point out, and I didn't realize this, but I think he is right. We can look through to make sure. But says that the Skald does get a couple of extra spells, like rage, specific spells, like probably in rage. I don't know if there are any other ones. But yeah,
I'm gonna say this.
It gets rage as a level 2 spell, which is interesting because that's usually a level 3.
Level 3, yeah.
Yep.
I'll say this: when it comes to totems, I went over the totems, the powers, on my videos for sure.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with most of them. Never do the fiend totem
Fiend is
because
terrible.
they don't affect evil characters.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's the one that you never want to do.
Demon Dancer makes me sad because of that. It's like, oh, in any other setting, because it's just like the way the Demon Dancer feels, it sounds like the description they give it, and then it's like, nope, it's total garbage in this game because it uses the fiend totems.
Yeah, so ignore the fiend totems, but the rest of them, like, you can find uses for any of them. It just depends on how you want to play.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not really a wrong way to go besides taking fiend.
I would say I think that Beast, at least combat-wise, mechanically, for maxing out your stats, Beast Totem is definitely by far the best. Maybe, I don't know, the Celestial or whatever has some uses.
I like spell resistance, but besides that, I don't know.
But with the Beast Totem, like, it gets pretty freaking wicked. You can give, like, your entire party +9 to attack, +4 to AC, and they get freaking pounce. Like, it gets pretty crazy.
I do like lethal accuracy, deadly accuracy, lethal stance.
Yeah, that's the one I always use is the lethal stance and deadly accuracy for sure.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I think it's the best for most situations.
So anyway, definitely Bard plus.
Yeah.
Ignore the Fiend Totem. Don't bother with the teamwork feats. Our personal recommendation.
Yeah, I agree. If you want teamwork feats, just pick them up with your regular feats and have them that way.
Someone needs to be a cavalier, or someone needs to, I don't know, do something else.
All right,
cool. Boy.
So then,
Battle Singer. This guy gives up rage powers to do shouty things, right?
But I do want to point out that they are interesting shouty things. Because they actually play off of each other. Like, if you use them in sequential order, then, like, they have increased effects, which is pretty cool. Like, if you use first verse, and then second verse, and then third verse, it gets stronger as long as you're using them in that order. And the third one will actually cost nothing if you've used the first two, like, immediately before it. And it has, like, +4 to its spell DC. Or, I guess, not spell DC, but just DC. And it's also maximized.
And you only lose the 3 rage powers. You still get 3 rage powers.
To be clear, I still think Battle Scion is better, but there are some interesting mechanics or ways that this works to where it's like
This is.
do you want to do
I
something
will say
different?
this one is far
I'm cool with
better in turn-based than it is in real time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
With the
probably.
way
In
the
real time,
verses
this
work.
is so micromanagey.
Yeah.
I think that I feel like this is just like if you think this is more interesting than Battle Scion, then choose it over Battle Scion kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a personal preference issue, but I mean it seems cool.
Yeah,
You don't get the
And-
bonus to intimidation.
And you still have enough rage powers to do like an entire like line of rage powers because they're in
Yeah, you can
three.
get a full
You
totem.
can do a full totem set still.
Yep.
So yeah,
I
like
dig it.
Battle Singer.
I'm
Pretty
digging
good.
it. I like it.
Yep. Potentially,
here's the one-
I would say like this is really cool if you take it on turn based. If you're playing real time, I would not bother, unless you want to just keep your focus on this character specifically.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you're somebody like Nicola who is real time with pause only, like devoutly, then you're probably right, Pondoor.
I ain't got time for that turn based shit.
All right, so Court Poet is actually pretty interesting, pretty good. It's one of my favorites here. I don't think it's one of the best, but the insightful contemplation is pretty nice, and it's a way to just gain charisma, especially whenever you're having charisma-based DC casters or tanks. It's just a way to gain some extra charisma beyond what you normally
Interesting.
could.
This is like really good to buff like if you have like backline casters, you can just give them all int and charisma.
Yeah.
I mean, this is also if you are, hey, if you're one of them monk paladins that Unsung loves so much.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
this is also, boosting up their AC, it's boosting up their saves.
Yeah, if you're going with an entirely overpowered charisma-based character, then you definitely want to get one of these as a mercenary, so that because then you'll get double the effects from the charisma bonuses that you're seeing here.
Well, I don't mind giving up Song of Strength or Well Versed. Don't really care about either of them.
Yep.
Like well versed a little bit, but it's not that important.
Well, what sonic attacks and bardic performances do you need saving throws against?
Darachne, and the damn little bug things or whatever. It's pretty heavy Yeah.
Calypsy, thank you very much for the raid.
Oh, I thought you said no.
Is that the captain?
Also no to you.
I don't even know what I said.
I was
Is that the captain?
by the raid. I don't know what you said, but no, anyway.
Yeah, no, anyway.
But yeah, thank you very much for coming in, Raiders. We are currently comparing the Bard and the Skald. We just got done with the Bard a minute ago. We're currently going through the Skald, and we are talking about the Court Poet archetype in particular. Yeah. Welcome in. Hope you enjoy.
Insightful spell is interesting. Eventually, +5 damage to damage dealing spells for all of you and your allies.
Yeah.
So this is really good if you have like a spellcaster heavy party.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, so it is just flat. It's not like per dice rolled or something like that, because I know that that's something that.
Yeah, it's not really that much damage, but it is something.
I mean, it's guaranteed damage.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah, I'm alright with that. What was the other stuff? Handling the crowd, AC.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of whatever.
It's called Battle Scion for Sela. Backtrack because she was making the caster unable to do their job. There is actually an ability that is toggleable in Wrath. They'll make it so that you do not accept the rage.
Yeah, and
so that should not be. Yeah, it's something that most people don't know about because it's not something that comes up in most playthroughs. But yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah, and if you don't make use of it, then yeah, the Skald is just freaking terrible.
Yeah, that's definitely something you need to keep track of.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know. To me, the Court Poet is basically worse for most things, but if you've got some DC casters or some
It's niche.
overpowered level dipping charisma monk BS going on, if you have one of those two things
Yeah,
going on,
I like
then
that. I like
you
that
can definitely
charisma
give this
stuff.
some consideration.
Yeah, like because like let's look at this from like an AoE standpoint. So you hit chain lightning and you hit 12 people. Chain lightning is what, a level 6 spell, so you'd be level 13, so you'd have a +3 to damage on every single person that you hit.
Yeah, no, that's
Yep.
a good point actually. With AoEs, that damage could definitely
It
definitely
definitely
add
ramps up. Also just the ability to increase. Oh wait. I guess you won't be able to have both of these at once though.
What do you mean? Both of what at what?
Whenever a quarter. Oh, never mind. I thought that the insightful spell was a separate song from Insightful Contemplation.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
in addition to. That makes this
addition.
way better
Yeah.
than I thought it was. Okay, I thought it was an either or. I did not realize that they were the same thing.
Yep. So, yeah, Court Poet I think is pretty good if you're trying to do that with it.
Yeah, if you're looking for a more yeah, like I guess it comes down to whether or not you have a spellcaster based party or a physical damage based party, right? I'd say if you have a physical based party, Battle Scion is probably better. Court Poet is definitely better for a spellcaster.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right.
All right, so
Moving
Demon
on.
Dancer, pretty freaking
Let's do
terrible because it
Garbage.
takes all the fiend totems.
Garbage.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, you didn't want these totems? Well, now you're locked into them. Good luck."
Yeah, it's freaking.
You know what?
Whatever.
Just because we're fighting primarily evil things, which means that the fiend totems bonuses don't really mean anything, doesn't mean that this is necessarily bad.
No,
it's just bad.
Actually, exactly what it means. It's exactly what it means.
Actually,
it sucks because just think about it. Imagine like you're out there on the battlefield and you pull out your lute or you pull out your flute or whatever, and you're like skipping around and you're playing your song and everybody starts sprouting freaking horns and spikes and stuff all over their body and start growing bigger and stronger, and then like it seems so awesome, like such a really cool flavor, like like I want to play it and I want it to be good because it just conjures up such good role-playing images in my mind, but then it just is totally ineffective after you get your huge muscles and your big horns and everything. You just run around punching freaking brick walls, or you may as well be because you ain't doing shit. Anyways, yeah. It's terrible for the setting. Hopefully, if we get a third Pathfinder game, they'll bring it back, and they'll actually give us a game with a little bit of nuance, where it's not just good versus evil or whatever. Like maybe there'll be some hints of sometimes good can be as bad as evil. Something like that, where you're actually fighting. Oh yeah, that's definitely what I'm wanting.
I personally highly doubt
it, but.
Yeah, I highly doubt a third Pathfinder game because like half their studio was like, I don't want to work on Pathfinder ever again.
I don't think it'll happen either, especially because I don't think they could get.
Oh, really? I hadn't actually heard that.
I don't think they could get much more epic or awesome than this, anyways. Like even if they did want to, like I don't think there's a whole lot of room for up from here in Pathfinder.
I agree.
Yeah,
I would love Starfinder.
Yes, Starfinder would be amazing.
I'd be interested in a Pathfinder 2e.
I don't know. I'm pretty stoked for them going to 40K. I'm hoping maybe we get like 2 40K games, and then when they move on to Starfinder, like
I mean, I think Rogue Traders
40K.
I think Rogue Trader is going to be really, really cool. It's definitely more like arcadey, like steampunk in space, and then Starfinder is like pure sci-fi space opera, and I'm like, I want that. No one has done me good a CRPG that does that yet, and I want it so desperately.
I would say,
love it.
Yeah, it's not so much space opera-y. It's more like Event Horizon-y with 40K.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I dig the vibe.
It's
For
I
sure.
don't know
freaking
shit
awesome.
about
It's
it,
amazing.
except that
So,
there's orcs in space.
I'm very excited for it.
hell yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Demon Dancer sucks. End of
Trash.
story.
Trash.
Herald of the Horn.
Yep.
What do you get? Arcane Bond. Love it every
Hey, I
time.
know you guys love
Arcane
that.
Bond is freaking awesome.
And Arcane Bond trading for like what? Lore Master? Who cares
Which
about
is-
taking 10
Lore
anyway?
Master is garbage.
Taking 10 at all in this
Yep.
game is
That's-
genuinely bad.
That's the only thing you're losing too. Look at everything you're getting here. That's the only thing
I was
you're
about to
losing.
say, is that
Now-
really all you lose?
Yeah, nothing you're getting here is like super, super powerful, but you're literally losing an ability that, like, it couldn't make less difference. This ability, you know, unless it was a blank space. That's like the only way it can make less difference.
This is like just a different option of Bard plus, of Skald plus.
Yeah, the horn call is pretty cool. Enhances your sonic spells or spells with the sonic descriptor, increases
like
their
that.
DC by 1. And actually, it increases them again at 13th and 19th level. So you can actually get a full caster like spell DC with this, unlike with the Bard. If you wanted a DC caster, you can get, you know, the same DC that you could get with level 9 spells of a full caster, thanks to this. At least for your sonic spells.
Right.
Which is cool.
Question about Crumbling Blast.
I was going to ask the same question, hoping one of you knew.
What is Horn of Blasting?
This is exactly what I was going to ask. What the? I imagine it's some type of sonic ability that could maybe stun or
let's
stagger. I'm also imagining it as an
Pathfinder, because apparently there's also a Horn of Blasting for D&D. It could be sounded as a normal horde, but if the command word is spoken, the instrument is played, deals 5d6 points of sonic damage to creatures within a 40-foot cone, causes them to become deafened for 2d6 rounds. DC 16 fort save, reduces the damage by half, negates the deafening. Crystalline objects and creatures take 7d6 points of sonic damage with no save unless they're held, worn, or carried by creatures. And then that is increased to whatever the hell. The bigger one actually does have a description. 10d6 sonic damage, stuns creatures for 1 round. Fort save reduces damage by half.
Yeah.
Not affected by spell resistance.
Yeah, so you know, not bad.
I like it.
Not bad.
I like it.
Not like game breaking or anything, but it's a nice little addition to have.
Yeah, it's a decent. And
Besides,
the DC is a sonic effect, so the DC is increased by, you know, however many you have at that point.
So far, besides the token throwaway archetype that every class has, Skald is pretty damn strong.
It's
I would say that every
really
one of
strong.
these is probably. I would say that every one of these is stronger in their zone than the base.
Yeah, for
which
sure.
Is not necessarily true for a lot of classes.
Yeah, no way.
Definitely not true for the Bard.
Yeah. So, Herald of the Horn, definitely good as long as you're not wanting to take those teamwork feats, and you shouldn't. I would say you'd probably take this over even Battle Scion.
Unless you're wanting to make your Skald your Intimidator.
That's true. It does have, that's true.
Because it does get the bonus to Intimidate checks.
Yeah, if you plan to use Intimidation, then go ahead and stick with that. Although you get Dirge of Doom, so it's kind of, it's fine.
All right, you do get Dirge of Doom.
So Hunt Caller. Yeah,
It's giving everyone beast shape.
Yeah, this one is not. This one's not very good.
No.
It's not
If you
trash
had
like
told
a
me
Demon
I was
Dancer,
giving
but
everyone-
it sucks.
If you told me I was giving everyone, you know, the top level of Dragonkind, then that would be something. But even then, like, unless your character is like, again, no matter how many of these like polymorph type spells boost your physical stats, unless you already have good physical stats, it's not a big enough of a boost to make a difference. A wizard beast shaping is not going to be strong if their strength and dex start at 10.
Now,
It's
you
just
can't-
not.
And if you have a wizard and your strength is at 10, you're not min-maxing properly, sir.
Yeah,
And
bring that
or
shit
matter.
down to 7.
If not 5.
You can definitely build a Skald to have pretty good like physical stats though, so like I feel like it could work here. Like I would imagine it working better here than it does with the druid actually.
But
Except I think the druid does get better.
But the whole point is to be able to turn your
everybody.
allies as well.
Yeah, it's everybody. You're changing your whole party, which I would say actually makes it worse.
I was gonna say the only thing that I could see this. The only way I could see this being viable is if you were doing something thematic, like you had, like you wanted some thematic party where everybody's changing shape or something. Other than that, it's just worse. You're losing 2 of your rage powers, which really sucks. You're using well versed, which maybe isn't that big of a deal, but it's still something. And you're getting Call of the Wild, which is just not that good.
I'm trying to see what do you get with Beast Shape 3? Would you like to hear what the description tells you?
I have a question first.
Sure.
When you toggle Inspire Rage, does that only work on the song Inspire Rage? Like if you want to not hear it?
You should be able to prevent yourself from becoming an animal with it too. I haven't tested it.
Okay.
You definitely should be able to.
Still meh, but all right. Go ahead, Pondoor.
Yeah, pretty meh.
It says at 18th level they can choose the effects of Beast Shape 3.
Yeah.
It does not tell you what animals you can change into. It's like, well, you should know. You should know this. Go check the Druid spell list, nerd. Which I'm about to do, actually.
I would say it's not. I wouldn't say this is garbage.
Like feelings by, I don't think it's garbage either, but I think it's clearly the worst one besides Demon Dancer, and I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, it's so niche that it's virtually unusable unless you're doing what you said.
Yeah, you basically have to build your entire party around it. I mean, like, okay, so if you are... Here's one way. If you sack a feat to get the cast spells while wild-shaped feat, that this could be a strict upgrade to your casters. It would make them a bit more hardy, a bit more tough to take down, increasing all their physical stats. Get them a bit of extra health, get them a bit of extra AC and reflex saves and all that good stuff. So there is that, but that is a feat tax to be able to use that archetype, basically. Animal shapes. B shape 3. Okay, what?
Yeah, I actually think that what we said, Battle Scion's also better than the base class. But for sure, definitely, Herald of the Horn is better than the base class. If you forget about the horn, then that's your thing. But
that was fun though.
Yeah, actually, Matt points out something here that maybe this could be good for the Hunt Caller could be good for a Midnight Isles. Like if you got like the Natural Attacks Tailwind or something like that, then you could build your whole party, to where they at least have good physical stats, and maybe your spellcasters are just buffers. And you could use this to transform them, to give them the buffs, and you still have enough to where you could get the Beast Totem rage powers and stuff. And so maybe in a situation like that, it might be pretty good. I still think it's the worst one besides Demon Dancer, but maybe in something like that it could be helpful.
Under wild shape spells won't make a difference because when you're under the effects of Inspired Rage, you can't cast spells. Period.
Yeah, that's why you want to.
And Call of the Wild is an add-on to Inspired Rage. It's not a separate song.
Oh, I thought it was a separate thing.
The Skald is like less songs than the Bard, but they're good at making their like Inspired Rage have many different like effects. That's kind of the
I keep looking at this as different Bard songs.
But yeah,
Hunt Caller is part of that healing tailwind as well. I don't remember what was the like limitation of the healing tailwind, because I just remember it being every time you kill a person, heal everybody.
Yeah, no, I think that's all that I don't think there was a limitation to it. Like every time that you kill somebody, I think you gain like one, or you heal for like 1d6 per level or something like that. I don't remember there being a limitation. It's been a long time though. It's been like 6 months, so I could.
Yeah, I got it my first time ever.
Yeah, I only had it once. But I remember it was like that. That is so freaking good.
Oh, you need characters with certain classes or archetypes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's got to be like the Primal Druid, the Wildland, maybe not Wildland
Primal
Shaman,
Druid,
but
Sacred Huntsmaster,
yeah,
Sylvan Trickster,
yeah,
Hunt
and
Caller, Sylvan Sorcerer,
yep,
Feral Champion, War Priest. Yeah. Okay.
yep.
Yeah, I was like, I
Now.
remember that they're like every one of them has had a requirement. I just couldn't remember what that one was.
Yeah, I didn't remember either.
It's just, have a few good archetypes, which Sacred Huntsmaster Inquisitor is great.
Yeah, I'd say most of those are pretty damn good.
Primal Druid's real cool.
For Skald, I mean, Battle Scion or Court Poet, depending how you want to play. Battle Singer right after. Herald of the Horns, also kind of just a different way of playing Skald Plus. Hunt Callers at the bottom besides Garbage Demon Dancer. I would honestly, because it's so niche, I'd put Hunt Caller below base Skald.
Yeah, you would need to really build your party specifically to take advantage of the Hunt Caller. It's not something that you can just throw in as your sixth party member and just be fine.
Yeah, I'd say it's really niche. Definitely not as good as any of the rest of them. I don't know. For me, I would put Battle Scion, Herald of the Horn, and the Base Skald actually all kind of on the same level, because while I do think Herald of the Horn and Battle Scion are a little bit better than the Base Skald, like I feel like they're all pretty close, and like based on what you're trying to do, what minor differences you want. Like I feel like yeah, like none of them is that much better than any of the other ones, even though some might be clearly a little bit better. And then after those three, I would think I would have to put the Court Poet. I might even put the Court Poet in the same freaking area. I guess I'll go below the next tier down or whatever. Because Court Poet in most situations is definitely not as good, but if you have a caster party, it's extremely good. I'd say it's definitely one of the best support classes in the game if you're running a caster party for what it does. And then after that, I would put the Battle Singer, then the Hunt Caller, and then Demon Dancer.
All right, my turn.
Yep, you're up.
All right, I would say Battle Scion is a strict upgrade over Skald. It's just, you give up 3 knowledges to get a whole lot of stuffs. So I would say Court Poet and Battle Scion are probably top tier.
Yeah, all 20 for sure. All 20.
Like you're saying, Court Poet if you're going for a caster party, Battle Scion if you're going for a physical damage party. After that, I would probably have Herald of the Horn, because you lose something that does not matter and you gain a fair bit for it. Which is also another thing that benefits spellcasters. Demon Dancer is trash, so that's on the bottom. Battle Singer, I would put below base Skald, I think. So I think it would be Battle Scion and Court Poet, then Herald of the Horn, then Skald, then Battle Singer, then Hunt Caller, and then Demon Dancer is how I would rank these.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Exactly how I. Yeah. And actually, the chat over here wants me to point out, since I should have done this probably at the very beginning, but the level 20, like a lot of the level 20 like capstone abilities are not very good for a lot of the classes. The one for the Skald is freaking phenomenal, and definitely you're probably not going to want to dip any levels, because this causes Inspired Rage to no longer give you any penalties at all. It doesn't limit any skills or abilities that anybody can use, and it puts you under the effects of a haste spell. So, anyways, yeah, really good. I just wanted to.
And
they wanted
another
me
thing
to
to
point that
all
out.
the way.
So.
Does that mean that you can cast spells?
No, you still can't cast spells, but like normally I don't think you can make any skill checks aside from like intimidation or whatever while you're under it either, right?
I think it's like athletics, mobility, and intimidation or something like that.
Yeah. But the
I
main
would say
thing is
that-
you don't get the penalty to AC and you're always under the effect of a haste spell.
The other thing to pay attention to is that only a few classes get this, but Skald is one of the handful of classes that has 2 high saving throws at the start.
Yeah, good.
Oh
good
yeah,
point.
Morton
Yeah.
will.
Morton
It's
will.
not very common.
Yeah, I'd say that they're the 2 most important too, at least in the beginning.
And they have like besides trickery, all of the important skills that you could potentially use. So
Yeah.
I mean, they have almost all of the skills. Period.
Yeah, I think
Like,
trickery is the only one they're missing, right? Athletics, mobility, persuasion. No, stealth. They're missing stealth. Stealth and
Yeah.
trickery.
yeah,
Let's kinda
like
go
not
hand in
all of them, but almost all of them are here.
Yeah.
yeah, so
Like it is a very hefty class skill list.
it's a very good class. Very good class.
Yep.
All right. So
Well,
which one?
We
So,
got
so
some
which
time.
one's
We want
better,
to go
Bard
through.
or Skald?
We've done the Bard. We've
Skald
done
is-
the Barbarian. Do we want to do the Barbarian now?
Gold is by far better than Bard.
All right, that's what I want to
We've
do.
done 2 hours for 2 classes. So are we able to go all the way?
I think we could go through Barbarian.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to let you guys lead this one because I literally hate barbarians, so I don't play them.
The only Barbarian that I've played in a while was Amiri.
I don't like any class that requires me to like. I don't love raging for the most part, and I don't like not being able to be lawful. So
Yeah.
Says the trickster.
Aside from
that was for fun.
aside from Amiri, the Mad Dog's mostly the only one I've really played. Oh, the Instinctual Warrior, I've dipped a lot. It can be a really nice dip.
Imagine a barbarian trickster.
Oof. But yeah, you're faster.
You could give yourself that spell that gives you crits, and just crit.
Well, since
Crit.
Vitals is personal, so
No,
you would need to have some
No,
way
he's talking about the one you get at like
trickster
your
spell.
level 9 spell or whatever. The one where for 3 turns you roll a 20 on like every roll no matter what. Yeah, Trick Fate.
Oh.
Trick Fate. That's the name of it.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, it's incredible. That's how you rack up like 2, 3, 4, 5, 20,000 damage in a
Punch your
turn.
problems hard enough until you solve
Plus,
it.
if anyone was gonna throw fish or summon beer elementals, it would definitely be a barbarian.
Dude, yeah.
I mean,
I made such
Yeah.
a big deal over that. Like that's awesome.
so you get your basic rage ability, fast movement. I think this is probably the fastest that you can get improved uncanny dodge out of any class.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
You get improved
Yeah.
uncanny dodge at level 5.
Yeah, it was,
Like usually that's like a rogue advanced talent, which don't even unlock until level 10. So this is really, really early to get improved uncanny dodge. Danger sense, so you can just tank traps if you really feel like it. You get rage powers, which we were talking about earlier. You get damage reduction, DR5 just naturally. Will saves against enchantments, and then extra bonuses to your rage, which no longer tires you once you're level 17. And
I mean, the
pretty
barbarian
simple for the most part.
it's pretty good because it has a full base attack progression bonus, but I'll just
Yep.
say like with the Skald Like, really, you may as well just play a Skald, because with the Skald, there's no fatigue that you have to worry about after raging or anything like that. And you can do it to your entire party. And you get way more benefits, and you get spells. Like, the only thing the Barbarian really has over a Skald is they get more rage powers, but you get enough with the Skald that you can pick all the ones
More
that really
health.
matter, all the ones that are really good, more health, and a better attack progression. Danger sense is garbage. Damage reduction is garbage. I mean, you get uncanny dodge, but then the Skald also gets that. I guess you get faster movement. It's I don't know. It's like
And the
Barbarian,
I felt
like the Barbarian was really good in Kingmaker, but with the addition of the Skald, like, I feel like the Barbarian is just not very good here unless you play a Mad Dog.
Did you really? Because I thought Amiri was like the worst character ever.
Oh, I love.
Oh wait, we forgot to do something for the Skald. We forgot to check something for the Skald.
What?
Skald is also a 3-star difficulty.
Oh,
but
sure.
Barbarian's only a 1-star difficulty, so get fucked. It's easy.
1 star? Yeah.
Hey, Calypsy. Yeah, actually, we're having a Pathfinder 2nd edition campaign start tomorrow. And yeah, we've pretty much just thrown alignments out. You know, like, we have a sense of how we want our characters to play and like what they'll be. But yeah, we're definitely not playing with alignments, and I think most people are kind of moving in that direction. But that's not an option in game, unfortunately.
Talking about all the mechanics and Unsung's over there, but the fashion though.
Listen, the Hunter and Ranger are some cool classes, but they've got all of that fur wrapped around their ankles, and I'm like, why? Get out of here. Just wear regular shoes.
Wait, what do you mean? They live in fucking icy ass like tundra shit. What do you mean?
Rangers
oh no,
can live anywhere. Shut up. They can live anywhere. They can live anywhere.
Are we talking about barbarians?
Yeah.
Well, if they live
in
the icy ass tundra, then why is she wearing a crop top or whatever that is?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that logic doesn't hold.
The crop top is more of an issue than the furry boots. The furry boots would fit in that particular like.
Not all barbarians live in the tundra.
What?
What are you talking about? Not all of them live in the same area. Barbarians are everywhere.
No.
Yes.
No, they're all in the same spot. Shut up.
So are Rangers and Hunters. They're all over the place. It's a class. It's not a group of people.
No, it is.
Rangers and Hunters are only in the forest. Barbarians are only in the frozen tundra.
Yeah, so
rogues are
have
only in cities and taverns.
So
have you ever seen a bard outside of a bar? No. It's why it's 3/4 of their names.
So the deserts, Rangers, the desert's your favorite terrain because they just read about it?
Yes. They're like, man, I would like to visit that, but I am contractually obligated to stay in the forest for
Alright, as this show was my idea, you guys are both fired. That's what I think.
Fired?
Fired.
What did I do?
Wait, where's my paycheck?
The hell? You're screwing me, Pondoor.
What? I did nothing.
You're the one being combative and confrontational, and I'm the one getting fired.
Always.
You said Rangers are only in the forest. You're fired.
Yeah, mine was clearly a joke.
Mine was totally for surezies serious.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly.
I've never known Pondoor to be serious a day in his life unless you tell him that Fireball sucks.
I will say Fireball does suck. Controlled Fireball is much better.
Whatever. You know what I mean. Ball of Fire. Although watching Pondoor is how I learned to, like, not have too diversified of a spell list and, like, plug, like, it's okay to have only one spell at a given spell level, like, take up all the slots. That's okay to do. Effective to do.
Which is true. So good job.
Yeah, but I didn't play that way before. I was like, I want 2 of this, 3 of this, 2 of this, 1 of those.
Nope.
Like I was getting an assorted donut box from Krispy Kreme or something.
Every single spell controlled Fireball. Or Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray from level 2 to level 6.
With Meta Magic, you actually make it to where every single spell slot is just controlled Fireball because you just have it at different spell levels going upwards.
Titan spell, every single spell from level 1 to level 9 Magic Missile.
Sure, that'll be great. All right, so Armored Hulk. The base barbarian is, you know, if you're new to the game, the base barbarian's fine, I guess, effective. not super great because of the Skald. Armored Hulk, on the other hand, if you want a heavy armored barbarian, then yeah, sure, I guess.
The concept is kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. You get heavy armor proficiency for free.
You get to move faster in your heavy armor.
Yep. So it negates the speed penalty for heavy armor.
Would you rather move faster in heavy armor or be really good at dodging shit, though?
Yeah, you do lose uncanny dodge and improved uncanny dodge, which is unfortunate.
I think I would rather have the resilience of steel, though. I mean, look at that. You get a +6 to your AC by 18th level. That's pretty good. You know,
That is pretty good.
On top of your +4.
Yeah,
that's 20 just from your armor.
It's only on critical confirmation, though.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not great. It's not for everything. It's only against crits.
Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have finished reading that, huh? I was like, okay. Yeah, that's not very good.
I think it's cool concept.
I would say that this is
for
a real bad
execution.
archetype.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
I was trying to give the barbarian something here, but
Yeah,
Would
because
it
like
be
in
cool to
Domitable
be-
stance, you get a +1 on CMB and CMD.
Yeah.
Reflex against trample attacks, which how fucking often do you see that?
Like, raging in heavy armor sounds terrifying, but also it's just not well executed in this game.
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
you don't really get anything.
Yeah, it costs them too
If
much,
you want to
you're
wear fighters just
You're getting a
better.
feat. You get
better.
a feat, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
Well, I mean, you do get the rage powers also. You
But
know,
like I'm
which
saying, like
can add
as
a
opposed
lot,
to just
but-
a normal barbarian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if we're comparing Armored Hulk to normal barbarian, basically the only thing that you're getting is a feat. And
Yeah.
a +6 against confirmation rolls on crits. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
would
the
say
Indomitable stance does nothing. The Armored Swiftness,
I'd
like-
say they're comparable. If you want to wear heavy armor, then go with Armored Hulk. If you don't, go with Barbarian. I don't think either one is much better than the other. Much different than the other.
I mean, it's only 1 feat though. Like you could just take this at level 1.
I mean, I will say AC against crits is better than being able to have good defenses against traps, because you shouldn't be stupid enough to walk over them anyway.
Yeah, dangerous.
I mean that's
is
fair,
freaking
but
terrible. Yeah, absolutely horrible. The resilience of steel is a lot better than that, but I'd still rather.
You
have
know
the-
what? I was with Pondoor on this one, but now I'm with Lore on this one. I think this is just fine if you just want to wear heavy armor instead.
Yeah, it's just
you
fine
lose
if you want to
uncanny
wear heavy
dodge and
armor.
improved uncanny dodge, which hurts a lot.
Don't get flanked.
Well, You're wearing heavy armor, which is going to add
Okay.
more to your AC than you're losing from that, anyways. So I'm saying, like, if you want heavy armor, go
the
with this,
boosted
otherwise-
speed for wearing heavy armor is negated just by having fast movement as a normal barbarian. Like they both just increase it by the same amount.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the point, because fast movement specifically talks about you wearing less armor to get it. So it's replacing the detailing. That's what. It's just a different
that's why I'm
description.
saying,
It's also
like,
later.
One's not better than the other. It's just, do you want to be a little bit faster and wear medium armor? Do you want to have heavy armor and maybe be a little bit slower? I'm not saying one's wrong or one's right. I'm saying they're almost exactly the same. Just which slight difference do you prefer? That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I think so. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with either of them so far.
Agreed. Now, Beastkin Berserker.
like I keep saying, I'm like, yeah, this is really bad, and then I keep referring to the stuff that it's replacing. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not great either.
So Calypsy says, so both of them are bad, and yes, I think we're kind of saying both of them are bad.
Yeah, yeah,
I
Yes.
would say
exactly
in
what I'm saying.
Kingmaker, no, but in this setting, definitely. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
anyways,
other classes wear heavy armor better. That's true, for sure.
So Beastkin Berserker.
I mean, it's just 3 rage powers for a different kind of rage power.
Yeah, you're just, if you want to transform into an animal instead of have a animal fury bite attack or what the hell ever rage power, then go with this. Again, I feel like there's not very much difference. You do get savage rapport, I guess. So maybe if you're trying to intimidate, this helps with that.
yeah.
So maybe
I mean,
I feel like
You
trying to
get the wolf trips at level 4.
yeah.
this is just like if you want to be a barbarian, but you'd rather take these than the regular rage powers, then take this.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy here.
All right, Instinctual Warrior, which is probably
There's
going to
not really much to talk about on these.
I was gonna probably going to be the best one here, Instinctual Warrior, not because it's necessarily good, but just because it's great to just grab a, just a dip for something else. Like whenever you're playing a class that's actually good, you can dip this class, and that's helpful. But as far as
you get wisdom bonus to freaking
AC.
everything.
yeah, which is very
AC,
nice.
CMD.
Initiative.
Is it initiative?
There's what fervent reflexes.
It's AC and initiative. I don't think you get it to saves with this, but yeah, AC and initiative for sure.
You get all the blind fight
initiative at 1. At level 2, CMD.
You get all the blind fights for free, and then you get you have your rage power list is expanded to also include a few key powers.
There you go. So
which is
some of the.
I guess like you get less rage powers because of the blind fight things, I'm guessing, but you get more choice, and some of those are pretty good. Like
some of the key powers are really good.
Old diamond body, though, like that's pretty good choices. I wish you got rid of Danger Sense instead of the DR, but whatever.
Yeah, damage reduction isn't very good, but it's definitely better than Danger Sense.
It's definitely better than Danger
Sense. Definitely.
Focus.
Excuse me, sir. Wait a second. Did you just say Diamond Body is good?
I was saying they're all kind of like, I've been poisoned in this game, okay?
It's called Delay Poison Communal.
That's true, but I'm just saying, like, in general, like, these are defensive key powers. It's not like they gave you, stupid offensive ones or something. I also like the focused rage a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you get the bonus to attack rolls and wisdom increases. Like, it's the attack rolls and wisdom bonus, and then the wisdom, like, then also boosts everything else because it's getting
so you're getting +3 to your initiative, which in the middle of combat isn't really going to matter, but you are getting the +3 bonus to your AC also, which is nice.
And this is like very blind barbarian. You have all the blind fights, and then eventually you get blind sense and blind sight.
Yep.
Array attack, a gaze attack will never hit you again.
All right. So basically, the moral of this archetype or this entire class so far is that if you want to be a badass barbarian, you need to poke both of your eyes out, because this is by far better than anything else we've seen from the barbarian so far.
Yeah, Instinctual Warrior is easily the best archetype.
Yeah, this is a raging monk.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of a cool concept, to be honest. It's the monk without having to be lawful.
There you go.
Don't get the increase to damage on unarmed attacks, though, right? I didn't miss that.
Yeah, you don't.
Okay.
Yeah. You're still a weapon using class.
Yeah. I just wanted to double check just in case I missed it somewhere.
All right.
Super cool.
Yeah, I like the Instinctual Warrior. Vulnerable Rager, I think, is going to be another one where it's like cool concept, but poor execution.
I mean, you get DR10 for free.
DR10 is enough DR to where you're starting to get into the realm of it kind of mattering. Like you are, but it's not really for free because you do lose your uncanny and improved uncanny dodges. Danger Sense doesn't matter, though. So
hey, you know what's still better than Danger Sense? 6 points of fire and cold resistance. Still better than Danger Sense.
I don't actually think that's true.
I do.
Well,
I think it's...
if resistance is stacked, I would agree, but you're always going to have something that gives you more than 6 fire and cold resistance on, or at least you should.
Yeah, if you know what to cast it for, right?
I mean, that's like literally nothing. Danger Sense is like almost nothing. It's like a hair above nothing.
Well, I guess with my playstyle, I tend to have haste on less for combat and more for movement, because I'm impatient as hell, and I'll just run through everything. So I do tend to, a lot of times, I will run into traps before they actually pop up and I don't see them. So Danger Sense would help me somewhat. But on the other end, most of those that do damage, it's mostly fireball traps. Like the vast majority of traps that you will run into are either going to be fatigue things, like waves of fatigue, which there's no save against and there's no dodging it. It's just going to hit you. Or fireball traps. Or like scorching ray traps. Where the fire resistance will come into play.
Yep. Those are all
So
pretty. I don't know. You get a lot of Welling Banshee traps too, like towards the end.
I haven't really seen that many of those.
Yeah, it's mostly just like towards the end. You definitely get way more of the other ones because the other ones will be spread out throughout the entire game. But
yeah. I just like in the Isles, I just haven't run into that just yet. Which I am just now starting my 7th lap, so I'll probably start running into that more. But yeah, up to this point, it's mostly been fire damage.
Guys, hear me out. Ready? You got DR10. Increase
Okay.
DR on all of your rage powers for DR20. And then every feat, DR for DR30. 30 DR. Because you can just use extra rage power every feat and just get DR30.
Hey, DR30 is pretty respectable. Unfortunately, I think you're going to be able to get that without any investment, or at least close to it, from the new shifter classes coming up in a couple of weeks.
Also,
at
if
one
you
of its
did that, you
archetypes,
wouldn't
at
be
least.
good at anything else.
Yeah.
Just boost con, DR30, and just meat wall.
Dude,
oh my god.
Maybe that's what you should have done for your story mode. No experience. Oh no, because it's no experience. So never mind.
Yes!
But
Yeah.
if you had some type of viable story mode, I guess where you could get to level 20, then with DR30, you just everything hits you for 0, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that doesn't is spells, but you're just gonna freaking reflex save out of those
I want to
anyways
see
on story
try it.
mode.
I don't know.
DR30
like-
beat sack. Just dump all the stats.
I was
and
also
just-
trying to do things in a reasonable amount of time. And
No.
having literally nothing but DR feats kind of, makes you a fucking wet sock whenever you're trying to actually attack.
You do get a full base attack bonus progression,
Yeah.
though, and it is
full
story
baby.
mode. It is story mode, so you can't miss unless you roll a 1 anyways.
Not true. Not at all true. Not at all true.
It's pretty damn close to true. It's pretty.
There
close
are
to true.
multiple enemies with 50 plus AC towards the end of the game.
That can't be true.
That is true. That is legitimately true. I know the Aeon has a 60 armor class in Threshold on story difficulty. I know this for a fact.
I'm gonna go
checked.
I'm gonna go check that because I have a story difficulty playthrough and I should have a save close to there. Because I definitely don't believe that because I never even upgraded my gear. Like I just ran through everything and still had like starting Act 1 weapons and just everything just died to auto attacks the whole way.
This is a great idea. You meat sack this guy up and then make a Skald character, and his rage powers are what you give the barbarian.
Oh Jesus! I get it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Again, it just kind of shows you that with the Skald, you don't need a barbarian. Except for the Mad Dog, because why? The Mad Dog gives you pets, and pets are incredibly, incredibly useful, or a pet, in this game. So if you have to play a barbarian and you want to actually be effective, definitely suggest the Mad Dog.
Animal companion.
Yeah. Get a cute little kitty or a big giant mammoth and just go out there and whoop some ass.
Yeah, and eventually you get throat cutters. So whenever you like trip someone or whatever, your pet will attack, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. You get the pack tactics and the ferocious trip to increase your tripping abilities, and then throat cutter if you eventually get there.
I dig it. This is the only one where I'm like, Instinctual Warrior 2. These two are like the ones I'm like better than Barbarian, whereas Armored Hulk can beat.
All right, thanks for hanging out, yo, Calypso. Lurk all you want, and we'll be back here probably in two Thursdays. So we'll see you then, hopefully.
I like Mad Dog though.
Yeah. I mean,
Animal companions are good.
animal companions
like 'em.
are definitely good. I don't know.
And then
Some of the people over here, they're saying that Mad Dog's actually their favorite class here over Instinctual Warrior for the dips because they like to dip up to Ferocious Trip, just for whatever classes they're grabbing, either Ferocious Trip or Pack Tactics for their actual animal companion class.
one of the things I love about Pathfinder 2e is that to be able to go into another class, you basically have to do like an archetype and dedicate at least a certain amount of time in that other class. So it stops you from being able to. There's no dipping. You have to commit, or you don't get to do it at all.
One thing
Well, you
that
can
I like
dip
about
once. You can take a 1-level dip, and then you're just locked out of other classes.
In 2e, no.
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, you can just never take another.
Yeah,
Archetype
you just
forever
don't
again.
multi-class past that second.
I guess you could do that, but then you're really limiting your.
I like Pathfinder's second edition, like just because it seems like way more freaking balanced, and and like does not reward like power gaming at all.
I agree.
It doesn't reward taking 20 different levels in 20 different classes, or just taking even 2 or 3 extra levels for whatever, which I guess is what you were getting at. But it seems way more freaking balanced. Even the classes, even if you were to do just full 20 level classes, the classes by comparison seem more balanced just because of the role system that they have.
I would agree.
It's been a hot minute since I've looked at second edition, so I can't talk a whole lot on it because I've forgotten most of what I knew.
I've had to look at it a lot for this game.
I imagine.
At some point, I want to make videos going over stuff because there's not a whole lot of 2e videos online at all, really.
Yeah. I was having the same thoughts about that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so Pack Ranger.
Pack Ranger. It's barbarian tactician.
Yeah, I guess more or less. Yeah, barbarian tactician, which for the barbarian, unlike the Skald, I would say probably worth it to use your bonus feats on some teamwork feats. Instead of just getting like 10 rage powers, spending half your rage powers on teamwork feats, I feel like is worth it.
Yeah, you don't have the choice. You have to take teamwork feats.
You have to take.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like that's a detriment. Like, I feel like that's better than having to take 10 rage powers,
Why do you still get 1 DR?
Yeah, DR1. Here you go.
Because
it's going to make so much difference.
No.
And it's going to be
not
level 10.
Why not?
Not level
the question
7,
is, it always will 19, be for this. Why?
Level 10. It's got to be the level 10 one.
What the fuck? Wait, is that simply so that we could take extra DR?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's so that you can take increased DR rage power.
It's like, look, we're giving you 1 damage resistance so that you can get up to 6 damage resistance if you want to sacrifice everything that your class does for an amount of damage resistance.
Well, you can only get up to 4 with the rage powers here because you have to take this first before you can even take increased.
Huh? What?
Like, you don't get this DR till level 10, so you can only use 3 rage powers.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I was too hasty there. You're absolutely
right. So 4 DR for you.
Yeah. 4 DR if I want to use up all my...
4 is like the grossest number, though. Like, 3 and 5 are like, very nice numbers, but fucking 4, man, come on.
I mean, if you want to be a barbarian and you want teamwork feats, then I would say that this is definitely the way to go. But I really think that you should just go a different way.
What? Does Skald have DR?
Yeah, 3. 3 DR.
Oh, yeah.
I thought DR from classes stacked with other DR. Does it not?
I don't think so. Most sources of
I don't know.
DR don't
I feel like
stack.
it should.
Different sources of DR, like if you have DR/magic and DR/cold iron and DR/fire or whatever.
Oh, you know what? I think it doesn't because there are certain prestige classes, I think, that specifically say their DR stacks with if the classic goes into it has DR.
Okay.
I think normally
Yeah, I was gonna
does.
say most of the time it will not stack. It'll just be like I said, if you have those 3 different sources of DR, not fire because that's not a thing, but like lawful. Say you got lawful, magic, and cold iron. If the character is lawful but doesn't have a cold iron weapon or magic, then it'll get over the lawful DR, but you'll still have to deal with the other 2. And it'll only take the higher of the 2 on that one. But you actually have to like overcome each of the different sources of DR to get full damage in. Otherwise, it will at least get chunked down by the highest of the ones that remain.
Yeah, Barbarian's my least favorite fucking class, and this just goes to show that I was right.
Yeah, I'm not overly impressed, honestly. Like most of these,
I'm pretty sure
it's incredibly basic.
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
I'm pretty sure in my Barbarian video, I just said if you want to be a Barbarian, just be a Blood Ranger instead, or a Skald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do one of those 2 things instead.
I don't think the Blood Ranger is that good either, although some of its archetypes are pretty good.
It's at least better than a fucking Barbarian.
Yeah, you do at least get level 4 spells, you know, which is...
I feel like, Mad Dog, I feel like is the best out of these.
Blood Ranger, you can eat the
simply
spells.
because, not even because of what the Barbarian gets, just the fact that you have an animal companion now.
Yeah,
true.
I agree.
I honestly feel like that's probably the best. It's like, yeah, just do this, get you a Mastodon or a Smilodon, and then go for it.
Actually, let's see. Matt's pointing out here that they don't even get a real capstone ability, which they don't, right? Maybe there's a rage power that's only available at level 20 or something.
Yeah, so it increases their bonus to +4 and also increases their temporary hit points to +4 per hit die.
I don't count that. Like, that's just the natural progression of their freaking rage.
Yeah, they don't really get a capstone beyond that.
Yeah. I guess technically that is their capstone, but that's freaking horrible for a capstone. Like, I don't think that should count.
Yeah, nope. Nothing else. Just that. So yeah, I would say Barbarian is easily the least impressive of the 3 that we've looked at today.
Yeah, easily the
I would
least
say
impressive.
Definitely it would go
trying to think of another
Bard Barbarian.
Yeah.
I'd rather be a fucking fighter than a Barbarian, even.
Fighters kick ass. So yes, fighters are freaking amazing.
Yeah, they're just boring.
They are kind of boring, but they're incredibly effective.
But Barbarians are boring and also ineffective.
Yeah, I was trying to think of another class that might be worse than Barbarian. And it's kind of sad because I liked them so much in Kingmaker, but it's like, damn, like, I think this might really be the worst class in the game. I'm sure we could find an archetype somewhere else that's worse.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
yeah,
there are archetypes that are worse.
Yeah.
Flame Dancer.
Flame Dancer.
For sure. Yeah,
Flame Dancers. What were the other? What other ones did we go through?
There were garbage. It was Flame Dancer, and I don't think, or the Skald had one garbage. Demon Dancer. Demon Dancer is garbage.
Demon Dancer's bad. Fire Dancer's bad. Well, like, what about the ones that we went through last week? Defender of the True World and Face Speaker.
Yeah, Defender of the True World's bad.
Face Speaker. Yeah, those are the 2 I think that were.
At some point, I need to do like a tier list of all of the garbage archetypes we threw away, and then just all the tiers are just different levels of garbageness, and just rank the garbage archetypes.
Yeah, well,
which is at the bottom of the landfill.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot.
Angel Fire Apostle.
Do the best, do the worst, do the mediumist.
All right. Well, we went through Barbarian pretty quickly because there wasn't much there.
Yeah, there's not much there. they're not great.
Yeah.
All right,
I would say Mad Dog's the best. Instinctual Warrior or Pack Rager maybe the next best. Probably Pack Rager because at least it boosts up your other characters.
Instinctual
I'd
Warrior is
probably
just
take
kinda
Pack
cool.
Rager as my second, and then Instinctual Warrior as the third, and then the rest of them are all in the trash.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I kind of have the same feeling. Yeah, that's good enough. I agree with you, Pondoor.
Yeah, I'm gonna toe the company line as well.
When you
All right.
when the best archetype is only good because it buffs the other people in your party or brings a completely different character that's just better than you are.
Yeah. So all right. Barbarian's pretty garbage. Y'all did help me realize maybe the Bard's a little bit better than what I gave it credit for today, so thank you for that.
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
showing us the Skald, my friend.
Yeah, of course.
I had never used a Skald before.
Yeah, they're
and
freaking phenomenal.
did not know anything about it.
So good.
Appreciate that.
For sure.
Okay. Well, guys, this has been fun. Fun times to be had. Lots of cool people came in across the streams. Goomsey, I think, hopped in all. I think he might have been on the multi-switch, or at least hopped into all three, which was really cool.
Yep.
We all had chat interactions from him, so that's awesome. And he rated you, and he rated me last time.
Oh,
So
is that what? Okay.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, so to recap here, I'm UnsungNPC. The games that I'm doing right now are these streamer shows, like every other Thursday, depending on my work schedule. Every Tuesday, I try to play Baldur's Gate. If we can't make it happen on Tuesday, then we'll make it happen on an empty Thursday if we don't have the streamer show going. We're in the Throne of Ball DLC. We're actually getting close to wrapping it up, and then we're going to play Icewind Dale until before Baldur's Gate 3 comes out in the end of August. So, and then every other Friday, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is we've got a Pathfinder 2nd edition game that we are playing. I am running it. One of my thank you, Laura. One of my players did the music for us, Sonic. Lore Spire is playing in it as well. Actually, based on like initial reaction, we've done a practice session off stream to get some kinks worked out, and so far I've really enjoyed. Like Lore Spire's character is one of my favorites in the party so far, and it's not just because the others seem like complete assholes, but
no, what it
Nit
is
awesome.
because Lore Spire's in the
Nit
call right
is
now, and he
awesome.
doesn't want to
No,
insult
it's
him.
because
Nit.
Nit's awesome. Hell yeah.
When I read my wife your backstory, and she cracked up at all of the like the family names just all being GN. Like,
yeah, it fits.
Loved it.
Yeah.
So that game's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a level 1 through 20, like full on campaign. What different aspects of the campaign are gonna take place? I don't know completely. Not everything is panned out and written out yet, but the first 5 levels are for sure. And it's going to be a good time. We have a good group of party members. So I'm very excited.
Pondoor?
All right. Hey, I'm Pondoor. I am not part of their D&D group because they're doing it a little bit too late for me. I have to work that night. But I do Wrath of the Righteous stuff. I do Pokemon stuff, and every other Thursday, I do this. So on Fridays, I do Pokemon Red solo runs. I've gone through 36 or 37 different Pokemon at this point. And I will be starting my Ekans run tomorrow. I randomly roll which Pokemon I'm doing next, and this time around, I got unlucky and got Ekans, so that'll be fun. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. It's always interesting to see how each of the Pokemon gets through. I've only had one actually fail so far, and that was Ditto, and that was because of a game-breaking glitch that I found that basically made it impossible to get past Koga. So I will be trying Ditto again after I do every single other Pokemon because, oh my god, it was like 200 hours just to get there. in game time. It was insane.
Well, the ones that failed, that doesn't count the ones that like you already wrote off, like can't complete the
Yes.
game.
There are 4 Pokemon that cannot complete the game at all. That is Caterpie, Kakuna, Metapod, and Magikarp. Because in Gen 1, Struggle is considered a normal move and cannot hit Ghost-type Pokemon. So as soon as you hit Lavender Tower, you're just done because opposing Pokemon have infinite power points, so they will never try to struggle you and recoil themselves to death. And yeah, you cannot do damage to them. So unfortunately, there are 4 Pokemon, and those are 4 of the Pokemon that people would like to see the most because they would cause the most suffering. But unfortunately, in Gen 1 at least, that is not possible. So yeah, that's what I do on Fridays. On Saturdays, I am doing Pokemon Violet speedruns. I did my first ever attempts at the Path of Titan speedrun, which is going through the Arven storyline. And my best time was actually 13 seconds off of the current last place person. So I am still in last place. At least I will be once they actually approve my run, which hasn't happened just yet. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing that a lot more in the future and continuing on. And then on Tuesdays and Wednesdays right now, I am doing Wrath of the Righteous Midnight Isles stuff. I'm still working on my first ever run through. I'm on lap 7 of my 3rd trip through. And since I actually missed my stream last night, I will actually be doing a makeup stream on Sunday to make up for that. And since I do not work on Sundays, that will be an uncapped stream. I do not have a specific length that I will be going to. I will probably just end whenever I finish this particular trip through the Isles. So yeah, that's me.
All right.
Lore Spire, your turn.
Chris with Lore Spire here. Unsung pretty much gave you all the skinny on the Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign. Just want to add to that, though, that my that the character art for Knit was finally finished today. So I'm going to be putting that in our Discord channel under the Pathfinder 2nd Edition area. So go there and check that out if that's something you're interested in. I'll also drop or send it to you, Unsung. And then I'm going to try to have the stream setup include the character art along with everything else that I'm trying to include in it. But anyways, yeah, pretty excited for that. We're doing this every other Thursday night, as you all know. Hell of a lot of fun. Appreciate these guys for doing it with me, or for letting me do it with them, however you want to say that. Also, I do have links to both of their YouTube channels, and down in the description, or if you're watching this over on Twitch, they're in my recommended streamers area. So, use that. Go follow them. Go subscribe to them. Go, like their stuff. It's worth it.
Spread the love.
Yep. Spread the love. Well put. You won't regret it. Definitely appreciate that. Also, Saturday, we're starting Pillars of Eternity blind playthrough. First time I've ever played it. I know absolutely nothing about the game.
Oh, yes.
And we're starting that Saturday night. Going to try to finish that up before the Last Sarkorians DLC drops on March 7th. So anybody who's interested in seeing me fumble around and try to learn Pillars of Eternity, come check it out. Pretty excited. I think it should be pretty awesome given everything
It's
that
such a
I've
cool
heard about
world.
it.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, me too. I'm pretty excited too. We recently finished the Dark Envoy demo, and I believe it was Lord Bovin who was like, "Well, if you really like this, then you got to play Pillars of Eternity." Because, anyways, I don't know. I guess there are some similarities, and I imagine with that being from Obsidian Entertainment, it'll probably be better than Dark Envoy, at least in world building and story. Although Dark Envoy, the demo at least, was pretty freaking awesome. I sent a message to Event Horizon, the developer, today, basically begging them to give me some pre-release content or something like that, because everybody who's watched that has really enjoyed it. So maybe we'll get to do something with that at some point. But yeah, that's about where I'm at.
Well,
all right, thanks for coming and hanging out, everybody, and
thanks, guys.
Hopefully we'll see y'all tomorrow night at the Pathfinder campaign.
And if you
out.
watch my stuff, I believe you said that you're starting at what time?
9:30 p.m. EST.
EST, so that would be 8:30 Central?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will probably be raiding out to you once I finish up tomorrow.
Heck yeah.
So if you
Sweet.
want to watch some Pokemon stuff at first and then head over and watch their stuff later, I start at 6 p.m.
Hell yeah.
So yeah. All right.
All right.
And this has been Chris with Lore Spire. Be well, my friends.
Pondoor and Unsung. Yeah. All right. See you guys. Woo. All right. Must